pretty crazy game overall.
I think it's like that's sick though. Like
Yeah.
I was telling Todd yesterday, like on his streams, like I bought it on like those. I haven't like touched it since buying it, but like I feel like I'm just gonna like I'm watching one person play the game, and that's not to like watch like the actual like gameplay per se, but it's more so just to watch the person like experience the game. Otherwise, like
Right.
I have no intention to look up anything or like, oh, where's this sword or where's this like thing or whatever it is. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna when I like experience it, and if when I finish it, I finish it. I suppose like that's kind of like my mentality when it comes to the game at the moment.
Yeah, I definitely would encourage that.
Yeah, I think that's my play.
Yeah. Though, if you do see a really cool sword, like, you can look it up and see where it is.
Yeah, totally
Like,
right.
Yeah, because if you see a really cool weapon, you're just like, oh my god, I really want to use that. Let me get that. And
Yeah.
Right.
With it.
Give me that.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Like when I first started, I was like running to like essentially the first like where like the first like merchant is with the crafting kit thing. And obviously you see all the shit, you see all the shit about like the tree sentinel, and I'm like, yeah, alright. But that motherfucker just and like I have no Souls experience, and that motherfucker just eviscerated me. And I was like, alright, welcome to Dark Souls, I suppose. Like, but nah, it's that little bit I played of it has been super fun. I'm really keen to kind of sit down and actually play a lot more of it for sure.
Yeah, I feel you. Fucking Tree Sentinel is a fucking bitch. I didn't even I fought him like as soon as like right out the gate. I said, alright, I'm running up on you. You're the first boss. He beat my ass. But I beat him though, but still it was cancer.
You gotta
You're not supposed to fight him.
Horse versus horse is what you're meant to do, I feel like. You're meant to verse someone on horseback.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier because you can just run away, and then after he like doesn't attack, you can just like run up on him and hit him.
That guy is a demon.
Yeah, well, later on, there's like near the because I'm pretty much at the final boss right now.
Okay.
And there like a little bit later on in the game, you actually have to fight like a buffed version of a tree sentinel, and you're not allowed to do it on horseback.
Oh no.
It's nice.
It's pretty based, but it's very hard.
Oh dear. I mean, it's good though. Like I feel like there's a lot of content in that game to kind of just like get through. So I think it's super positive. We'll have our thorough discussion in the next episode, I suppose.
For sure. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Elden Ring's been so good.
Yeah. But as any good segue does, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the episode of the Great Perfect Podcast, episode 62. Yes, we are back with a Treasure Cruise episode. Thank you guys so much for the support on our first non-Treasure Cruise release. I think it was super fun for the four of us to sit down and have a chat about just like the games we're playing, what we're excited for, and that kind of stuff. And I think that like going forward, that's definitely going to be what the approach we're going to take is one on, one off kind of thing. But don't get it twisted. We got a lot of things to cover. You got Flame, Todd. Not Flame's not even here. See, that guy's out and about. I don't know what he's doing. Can't trust that man. You got Knight, Todd, and myself, and we're here today to get through some Treasure Cruise news. And there's actually a lot of news because we've left it for about a month. So there's a lot of things have accumulated. Lots to get into. So without further ado, gentlemen, let's just hop right into it, eh? With the release of TM Perospero. And to no one's surprise, there was a TM Legend released. And this TM Legend was TM Carrot and Wanda dual unit. I don't know if we really want to talk about TM Perospero himself, but he's an okay TM unit for the most part. Chain lock, orb lock, and damage. So end of turn damage as well. So it's pretty good.
Okay.
Not too bad overall there. And a 3-turn chain lock as well, so that's pretty good.
His support is really good too.
Let me see that real quick. Once per adventure, when your user support locks orbs for striker characters for 1 turn. Again, that's
pretty good.
Perospero seems to have a lot of good supports.
He does.
He generally is a very good support character for sure. But I know what we're all here to do. Let's chat about the meat and taters. of the TM, Carrot, and Wanda legends. So a lot of legends to get through today, so just bear with us. Probably a lot of reading. But Carrot and Wanda dual unit, I don't really like. One makes quick orbs beneficial, one makes dex orbs beneficial. You know, it doesn't matter. But their dual captain is reduces cooldown of all specials by 2 turns at the start of the fight. Boosts the attack of fighter, slasher, striker, cerebral, and powerhouse characters by 2.25x. Makes quick and dex orbs beneficial for those classes. Characters and deals 100x fixed damage to all enemies at the end of the turn. At the end of each turn, and reduces cooldown of all specials by 2 turns at the start of stage 3. And note the bonus is cumulative. So if you have a character that is a fighter slasher, they get a 2.25. I think it's 2.25 times 2.25. I think it is. So it ends up being like a 4.84x boost if my math is more or less correct there. Their super swap changes own orb, including block into matching. They remove all despair, slot bind, paralysis on themselves, and they boost the attack of fighter, slasher, striker, cerebral, and powers carries by 2x for 1 turn. I mean, pretty similar there for their base swap as well there. And their special is a 2-stage special, which is pretty interesting. So their first stage special is it drops down to 3 turns, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But it reduces the defense of all enemies by 100% for 1 turn, reduces the special cooldown of those classes by 1 turn, makes their own attacks ignore damage reducing barriers and buffs for 1 turn, and amplifies the effect of orbs for those classes, by 2x for 1 turn. They become Carried and Wanda for 1 turn. I believe it's pretty similar for their buff version, except they become Carried and Wanda for 3 turns. They advance their own special by their own cooldown by 3 turns, and their orb boost is 2.5x. And they go through so everything's just buffed a bit. So they ignore defense for 3 turns of cooldown to those classes. Sorry, I'm so lost. 3 turns of cooldown to those classes. They ignore for 3 turns. They 2.5x orb boost, and they buff their special by 3 turns, and they become Karen and Wanda for 3 turns. How do you feel?
Like, they're just so weird. Like, why are they going back to a captain that requires the character to have 2 of the 5 listed classes?
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's so lame. Like, even 6+ Carrot got rid of that.
And then I'm so confused. Like, what? I don't understand why they wouldn't just keep with like Neko and Inu in their captains, I believe. They allow themselves to go. I think it's themselves and crew, or is it just themselves to go through defensive stuff?
It's just themselves.
That's cringe. 6+ Carrot is better.
I would have thought for sure in their dual unit they would have made just make
everything.
All characters. Yeah, just at least in their dual unit would have been sick. But no, they're just like, okay, only themselves go through defensive effects, and it's only for, I think it's 3 turns in their special.
3 turns in their special. Yeah. Their second special as well. So like, I have to give them props because they're like their stage 1 special being on a 3-turn cooldown means they basically get it at the very start of the quest, and you can get 100% damage reduction, and you can get a 2x orb boost immediately. So like that's great, you know, like that's pretty positive. But like a lot of the time, I mean, like I know people are going to use that as an ability a lot because it's on such a short cooldown. But you're going to want to get the higher orb boost. You're going to want to get the buffed amount of turns. You're going to want, they've reduced a lot of cooldown, like a lot of cooldown. Same way as Neko and Inu. Like, but it's just such a weirdly designed character. It's very odd.
I don't like the unit as a whole, but one thing that's kind of cool is with the cooldown reduction with their special, because I think they're the first unit in the game that reduces like the character's cooldowns by 3
turns.
Special.
Yeah,
like that's really good. And after you use their special, it gives themselves an additional 3 cooldown. So after you use their special on stage 2, they get their stage 1 special immediately again.
Yep.
So long as you have a limit break expanded, which means that you could use it again to get an additional cooldown on top of it.
So you can get a total of 4 turns of cooldown. You know what would have been cool though, is if in their stage 2 special, in their special they had like a condition which was like, if the enemy has reduced defense, then give them a conditional boost against reduced defense. Because then at least you could have had that mechanic, like you mentioned, Todd, where you pop their stage 2 special, they reduce the defense by 100%, and then they buff their special, so you can pop their stage 1 special again, and then like you can get a conditional boost on top of the orb boost as well. Or they could have done the same thing with the orb boost, where if they have an orb boost already active, buff the orb boost by like 0.5 or something like that. They could have played with this a lot more, nice, I feel like. Because
that would have been sick.
I mean, mind you, like, I've seen some crazy stuff with this unit already. Like, the fact that their swap completely removes Despair, Slotbind, Paralysis is already, like pretty massive as a captain. But again, like, this TM was built to have them as a minimum a friend captain on the final boss.
Yeah. Without it was pretty hard.
It was very challenging to get through. At least the invasion was, I remember it was toxic.
Yeah.
It was so hard to get through if you didn't have a Karen and Wanda as a friend captain.
Yeah, because the final boss, Big Mom, was actually like not as bad. You could use like a dog, cat, or this unit as a friend, and you can get through it pretty easily. But yeah, I mean, if you're trying to get through the Perospero fight, without that, it was pretty hard. Yeah.
That's thankfully enough, Bon Clay, probably the greatest legend this year, straight up, just, you know, he carried my ass through a lot of it. But you needed this character. I hate the captain ability. Like, outright, I hate the captain ability. I like the things I do like though is making orbs beneficial. That's always great. The 2 turns of cooldown at the start of the fight is fantastic. Again, like, just faster runs.
What about the 3 on the? Isn't there 3 on stage 3?
Like, I hate that. I don't get it still.
Okay.
I mean, is it for Grand Voyage? That's my question right now. Because, there's no point for TM because the characters already get a cooldown reduction for Treasure Map.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it doesn't.
I mean, what about for Coliseum?
That's a good point, I suppose.
Arena.
Like, that's a good point, I guess. But I feel like just with the way that the game works now, it doesn't, like, matter because you're just going to use the new legend anyway, and that's going to be enough to clear, like, I mean, look at Queen, for example. Like, Arena Queen was a walk in the park. It was a joke. Like,
yeah.
So like, I think that's a really good, like, observation you've made. Like, that, to be fair, with Arena, 3 turns of cooldown on stage 3 is actually really good because you can, like, pop the special early, 3 turns, you know, that you have a way to, like, play around with it, I suppose. But I don't know. I just think it's really weird. And I hate, like you mentioned earlier, Todd, I hate how we're back to if your character needs to be a fighter slasher or a fighter strike, or, like, you know, it has to be a combination of classes.
Yeah, they're just so wacky. They're just so wacky, and I just don't think that they're gonna see a lot of play. Maybe as a crewmate for sure, but not as a captain. No way, no shot.
I don't know. I dislike it. I just think it's so stupid because it's just such a diminishing value. Like, and to be fair, like, was it 2.25 times by 2.25? I mean, it's technically a 5x captain, but like, it's still, like, I don't know, man. You could have just made a fight. Imagine if they were just a flat 5x captain to fighter, slasher, striker, cerebral, and powerhouse.
Oh yeah, it would have been way better.
And then made Dex and Quick Orbs beneficial for those classes.
Yeah.
Like, it's I mean, plus the fixed damage at the end of each turn, like, it's kind of weird. But I mean, I guess it's a way to get around resilience, which is always, like, welcome, I suppose.
Yeah, that was the whole reason why it was there, pretty much.
But they need to be in their dual form to do that. So it would have been nice in their base forms if they did, like, 50k, and then their dual formers they did, like, 200,000 or something like that. So at least there's, like, at least then they had, because if they had, like, an innate ability to get through resilience just in their captain ability, like, in their single captain abilities alone, would have been way better. Then it would, like, then having to use them, and I guess that's the whole point of having their stage 1 special be ready so quickly, so you can get through resilience when you pop their stage 1 special, I suppose. I don't know. Like, now I'm just, like, probably running in circles, but it's just, I feel like there's just a lot of things just don't sit well with this unit at all.
Yeah, no, it's pretty simple. It's just the unit is just not as good as Cat Dog.
It literally, like, and that's so, like like I don't know. I don't like that. Like V1
Yeah.
character is so good. Like when you really think about her as a unit,
Yeah.
she's still incredibly powerful. So it doesn't make sense to do this. I mean, hey, Wanda gets a legend. That's always cool. A new character
True.
getting a legend's always exciting. But
A lot of people kind of predicted this too.
true. That's a good point as well. It kind of made sense with the whole Sulong thing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like we saw like Perospero was the unit, and like
Yep.
and then the latest episode came out, and it was Kara and Wanda attacking Perospero, so it just made sense.
Yeah,
But it is kind of annoying that they're doing like literally back to back TM legends. Because they did Clay previously, then they did Carrot Wanda.
Yep.
Hopefully not another one this month, I swear, dude.
No Kizuna legend this month, so that's at least my guess is that. Hopefully not, but I mean
we've got no PvP legend at least.
That's the big one there. No PvP. I mean, they don't care about PvP legends anyway. I swear to God.
Not really.
Anyway, let's get into their. And they have no support because they're a dual unit. You idiot. So their Pirate Rumble kit. They 100% resistance to silence, 30% damage reduction to free spirit. Their level 5 ability is level 5 HP buff to slash and cerebral characters, and then the first 3 times this character lands a heal, applies level 3 recovery and attack buff to cerebral characters. Their level 10 special on a 30-second cooldown applies level 6 speed, attack, and defense up buff to slash and cerebral characters for 25 seconds. It deals 2.5x attack in damage to 3 enemies, and when HP is below 60%, restores 3.5x recovery of HP to cerebral characters.
I think they're fine. Like,
I
they're
agree.
okay in PvP, but the weird thing about it is like their special provides like a buff slashes, and then their passive gives P to slashes. But the thing is like a part of their passive, they only give the recovery and attack up buff to cerebral.
Cerebral afterwards, yep.
And then the heal in their special is only for cerebrals as well.
Yeah.
So I don't like why even bother like adding the slasher component to this unit. Like if you're running a slasher team, you don't run this unit. They just don't really. I mean, they're fine. They do a lot of 2.5 times their attack is okay.
Yeah.
And you can partner it up with some other units, but
yeah.
this character doesn't really provide a lot to them. I mean, their special will provide a speed attack, defense buff, level 6 buff for 25 seconds. That's a really good buff, but then their passive is only providing you health. I just don't think it's worth running. But if you are running a cerebral team, then
exactly.
This unit would be amazing for them.
Exactly. They want you to run a cerebral team with this unit, but they're like, oh, we'll add the slasher buffs as well, just to give the unit a little bit of flexibility that you could potentially run them in a slasher team, I suppose. But I don't really see this unit being used. Like the slasher team is crazy right now, so like
it's weird though because like V2 Oden. He's like a slasher and free spirit captain, but he literally only boosts like free spirit and psi unit. So I don't get where like their mind goes when they develop the PvP abilities for characters because a lot of it just doesn't make.
I think there's this inherent like want to change the meta, and they try to direct it in a sense is my assumption because I'm sure they're completely aware. I mean like the way that they build the team, for example. Like there's a new Sandersonia coming out. I'm sure that there'll be a strength. There'll be the mini bosses, and they'll build like a pretty meta strength team when it comes to her release, right?
Probably,
so I think that they're very aware of what the quote unquote meta teams are and like how they kind of function in a sense. But I think that like the reason why they release a unit that has slash and cerebral kind of elements to it is that they want to potentially swing that meta to maybe approach it in a different direction. Does it actually work that way? Not really, but I think that I would assume that that's like their intention in doing that. It's still very obtuse, like nonetheless though.
I mean, like, what even is a good cerebral PvP team? I can't even think of one.
Does Croc? Wait, what's the cerebral superclass unit? Is it the Croc?
Yeah, it is Croc, but his whole kit is dex based.
That's
which
makes
makes zero sense.
Okay, so there's literally no cerebral team then.
Yeah, and then you got the superclass Dog, who is a fighter superclass, and he's dex based. And then you got Oden, who's a superclass slasher, but he boosts free spirit in PvP. It doesn't make any sense at all.
All right, well, everything I just said, put it in the bin because it makes no sense then. Because everything you've just said just puts everything I said in the bin. Not maliciously, but like you're correct. Like, what's the point of having a superclass cerebral character and not making them buff cerebral? What's the point of having a fighter superclass character and not making them buff fighter? It doesn't make any sense.
No. It's very bizarre, but
it's stupid is what it is. It's
Karen
very
Wanda,
ignorant.
pretty underwhelming unit. I mean, it's visually a very cool unit.
Yeah, also without a doubt.
On paper, and they've got hunger. In case you
they do have hunger. I don't want to run, but pinch healing, hunger, and barrier pen.
Barrier pen's good.
Yeah, barrier pen's always great, but yeah, I don't know. All right, out of 10, how do you feel?
6.7.
This is a very average legend, so I'd be kind of content with giving it like a 6.5. What do you might say?
Yeah, I'm like in the 6-7 boat.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like
they're average.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say though, Night? Do you have anything else you wanted to roll on that before we move on?
Oh, I was just gonna say like maybe in the future, like in arenas and stuff, there might be like a really good team for it. But then also as well, like you have to take into consideration that like they could have been a 5x captain and they're just like just barely under 5x captain, and then it's like you need like to fit like the class conditions as well. So that also like puts them like on the lower end of 6.
Yeah.
For me,
they're a 4.84 captain in their base forms, which is pretty good. Like for a single form captain, but then to go from a 4.84 to only like a 5.06 captain, like in their dual form, the jump it's very weird how like small that jump is. But anyway, about 6.5 for Karen and Wanda. If you pulled them, that's obviously fantastic. Like, and having every legend available to you is always going to be super convenient, regardless. So, don't say like, oh, GGP said this unit's bad. It's
people are still going to find really cool ways.
Take it.
Yeah.
People still going to find ways.
When we say something's bad.
Yeah, delete it. Yeah, delete it from your game right now.
No, yeah, we're the lore of the game. So.
We are. Hold on, we might actually be at this point. We got the goons, bro. All right, moving on. Kizuna versus Chopper. The Alliance Kizuna versus Chopper came out. Yeah. It was a very month, or like since the last episode of OPTC. It's a very kind of month overall, but Chopper came out.
Is Chopper good?
He does a recovery with overheal. He completely removes poison. He reduces bind paralysis and attack down by 5 turns. And he does a 1.75 times color affinity for Dex and Cerebral.
Yeah, he's actually not bad.
He's pretty good. Like, he was used in all the content, He was using the Oni 1 Banshu, like, thing. He's definitely used in the Blitz battles going on right now. So, like,
yeah, if you didn't have, like, if you didn't pull the units, then, yeah, the Chopper
is pretty much goated.
Guaranteed to be
and also, super nice to have another unit that completely removes poison. That's always...
Right. Oh, doesn't he support remove it too?
I believe so. I'm fairly...
And he attaches to, like, the minks, I think.
Never mind. Driven characters, 8% of stats. Okay.
No, wait, that's Kaido.
Am I looking at I'm looking at the Chopper right now on my screen. On like I don't know if Solaris has done some crazy shit.
Wait, what? Oh, really? Is it wrong on the database?
I think it might be wrong on the database. Thanks, Solaris.
Chopper's driven now?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, driven characters.
I'm pretty sure that's the new Kaido's support.
It is the new Kaido's one. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure he removes poison and like he attaches to like Inu, Neko,
Let me look
Wanda.
in game real quick. Okay, he attaches to Inu, Wanda, Sicilian, Neko, Pedro, Carrot, blah, 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 all the minks. And he, once per quest, if you're inflicted with poison, completely removes it at the start of the cruise next turn.
Yeah, that's good.
Me, but yeah, so
that's good.
It is like another unit that does that is always wanted. Like, those units like the 20th Anni Sanji, the Ivankov, like they're always great supports to have just completely removed.
Yeah, it just adds another component of another way to defeat Dofi 2.
Yes, it makes Dofi 2 faster and faster every day, pretty much. So, nonetheless, that wasn't really the important part of the Kizuna. What was important was V2 Doflamingo 6+.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was really unexpected.
And the crazy part was that I swear we were talking about this in one of your streams as well.
Yeah, we were.
And we're like, oh, surely Doflamingo, and then like the next day, Doflamingo 6 Plus, V2 Doflamingo 6 Plus comes out. I mean, like, just read it verbatim, I suppose. So his limit breaking captain ability is reduces cooldown by 1 at the start of the fight, boost attack of driven characters by 4.75 if they have a beneficial orb, 4x otherwise, HP by 1.4, lowers the chance of getting strength orbs, and makes dex and quick orbs beneficial for driven characters. He's
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty solid. And his special is deals 2.5x of the damage dealt in overkill damage in the previous turn in typeless damage to all enemies. If your crew has normal attacks only, boost the attack of driven characters by 2.5x for 1 turn, and he makes Psi and Int orbs beneficial for driven characters for 1 turn.
That's pretty much what they needed to do, because his big issue is his special was like useless because of normal attacks only.
Correct.
So now they've not only increased the amount of overkill damage he does, which is like whatever, because that you're not really going to be using him for that anymore. But he still provides a 2.5 attack boost, which is nice, and more beneficial slots.
Exactly.
Though it's fine. It's not like it doesn't make him broken though, because you still need some type of way to guarantee your slots, because he makes like, what is it, Dex Quick, and then with the special it's Sign Int.
Yeah.
So recovery and tandem still have to be treated as beneficial, which could be problematic.
Get a ship in there and then call it a day, right?
But at least they've given him a pretty good captain though, like -1 cooldown, 4.75 attack, 1.4 health.
1.4 health is a lot, man. Like, it's such a weird number that they chose 1.4x, but like, it's a lot of health in the grand scheme of things too.
Yeah, and like you can hybrid him up with some very, very powerful units.
Totally.
So, yeah, he's super solid.
I like this idea of, if there's normal attacks only, do something else.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want that to now be used for V2 Katakuri when he gets his 6 plus.
Yep.
And if they don't do that, they've effed up Katakuri's 6 plus then.
The problem with Katakuri though is I feel like they're gonna do it, but they're just gonna give him a color affinity special, because his captain ability is based on color affinity too.
That's a good point. If it was like 3 turns, if it was 3 turns of color affinity though, maybe something nicer.
Like 3 turns of 2.5 color affinity. Yeah, that'd be actually very good.
Totally. It'd be nice. I don't know. I just think like now going forward, they have to do this with every unit that has like a damage, like their ability is surrounded by damage.
Imagine V1 Kaido. Maybe.
I'm down, dude. V1 Kaido's already busted. Make him even more busted at this point, right? But I don't know if there's not really much else to kind of say on him, I suppose. But I'd say it's good. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I mean, like, it's a good 6 plus regardless. It's a positive one at least. It's not like a weird little mini upgrade. It's an actual like upgrade to the unit.
Yes.
Right.
I don't think his PvP kit change much.
I think it did a little bit. So his passive is pretty good now.
Yeah, so his passive is level 6 attack up to driven, level 6 speed up to dex. I hate this. They're doing this too often now. It just like I'm so over this now because it's getting frustrating. Just make it dex or driven. Make it just driven. He would have been. Imagine if he did level 6 attack, speed, and defense up buff to driven characters. Driven team is like getting there then. And
it's like at that point, it's like, do you still want to run this or do you run V1 Dofi still?
Exactly. Like, it's very weird.
At least like give us the option for that. But yeah, I agree. I don't like the fact that they have characters that boost colors and classes.
Yeah,
like two different buffs. Like, bro, just pick one. Make one of them really good. Rather, like, try and be like, good at one thing in particular, and not like try and be just average at everything. Like, yeah, just pick one.
He is a very good bench unit, which is really weird to say for a legend. So his level 10 is on 28 CT. It deals 2x damage to all enemies in a large radial range. When there is 60 seconds or less remaining, deals 1x damage to all enemies in a large radial range. When there are 45 seconds or less remaining, deals 1x damage, blah, blah, blah. When there are 30 seconds or less remaining, deals 1x damage. So technically, if Dolphy comes in and attacks when there are 30 seconds or less, he does 4 hits of damage.
Yeah.
Which is
like a truck.
A lot. So definite. You can run this guy on the Dex bench unit. Perfect for this guy. Absolutely perfect for him to come in and he gives himself a nice attack buff. He gives himself speed and defense buff when he pops in. So like he's a very, very good unit for the Dex bench.
You know, what's kind of interesting as well is that like he is also a cerebral unit, so technically you could run him on a cerebral team if you
That
wanted
is true.
to. Kind of wacky, but
that is a good point
work.
actually. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, I'm satisfied. I mean, as a 6+, I mean, like we've joked about 6+ as a system for a long time now, but like as a 6+, like he's all right.
Yeah, like this is definitely like a better super evolution. Like I'm pretty content.
If you were to start to think about like the GGP awards for this year, like he's definitely already in the cards for like the winner of the best super evolution, I suppose.
Actually, what are we classifying Oden as? 6+ Oden, because like technically he got released in December, but we didn't able to get him.
I think the date is the date I will be basing things from. I think it's December 10th. And
okay,
onwards.
so Oden will be included.
Odin will be included then.
Yeah, I think Oden is definitely better.
I'm gonna start getting a list together. Probably better to start now than leave it till.
Hey, you never know what kind of super evolutions will come out this year, though.
That's what I'm saying though too. Maybe get super evolutions. Hold on.
Aside from Log Luffy, now the oldest units that still need a 6+ are the V2 Admirals.
I'm
and V2
so
Shanks.
keen for V2 Shanks and V2 Admirals. I'm so excited.
Man. It's gonna be so good.
Bro,
yeah, imagine how crazy would it be if with the V2 Admirals they released them at the same time and then they switched the colors. So like Akainu was like a Psy unit that boosted Psy quick.
That's kind of sick.
They did reverse rolls sick,
actually.
Shit. I know, that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool. So what's your case? So then before we jump to probably the main crux of this
they
episode,
also changed Shanks too.
I would like to change Shanks.
Honestly, like the thing is, even if Shanks changed color, like he'd still be good no matter what color he changes into. He's such a good
unit still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be okay with that.
What if they left Shanks for Film Red and they just did an entire Shanks month? They released 6+ V2 Shanks. They released a new super type Shanks, super class Shanks or whatever. They made him like Super Sugo exclusive. Like they just like everything was just Shanks related that month. I'd be kind of down. But I guess before we jump onto the meat and taters, what are your guys' predictions for the next Super Evolution? Like, who's the next character to come out?
Oh boy, tough one. I'm gonna take a stab, and it's gonna be someone recent-ish. Okay, let me pull up the list. Your list of legends.
Way.
I'm gonna say, Dex Kid or Dex Hawkins.
Honestly, I wouldn't be that mad if Hawkins got a 6+ and it like vastly improved his captain ability.
Like honestly, I think Hawkins is more useful than Kid at the moment. Like when they first released, like no one liked Hawkins, and like Hawkins is just a bit of a meme. No one's using him as a captain, but sometimes as a special, like he's actually kind of nice. But yeah, with a 6+, if they I'd be really happy with that. And then like Kid, like Kid's fine, but he's just super squishy. Defensive capabilities at all. He has no healing or damage reduction or health boost. So they really need to buff his abilities. Special's actually kind of okay still. Maybe because like, his special, I think, like gets rid of like tandem, like strength and dex or strength and quick. Like it doesn't actually get rid of all slots and change them into bomb. So if they change his special to like change all slots into or like empty all slots and then get a full board of super bomb or some shit. Either way, like they could do some really cool things with Kid and make him super, super good. Maybe like change him so instead of just being mono Dex captain, he could be like Dex striker driven captain as well. Oh yeah, he'd be pretty juicy.
I'm down. What do you think, Knight? Who do you think is the next legend to get a 6+?
I'm looking through the list and I'm looking through the list that you made. And a lot of the people that I see who don't have a 6+ right now are like dual units. Yeah, so maybe.
Right. Don't say maybe a dual unit 6+.
I'm not saying a dual unit's ever gonna come out 6+, but I wanted to say a movie legend, but I don't think
That's
they
what
would do that.
deep down, I would love to see like Tesoro 6 Plus come out like next
Yeah,
month.
that'd be
Sure.
awesome.
Because that'd be so sick if that actually happened.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I
it
doubt
makes
it.
perfect sense to release them towards August when the movie comes out. If they just release like a bunch of super evolutions for them,
Yeah.
doubt they're gonna do it, but I really hope so because they're so bad.
You know what they could do? They could do V3 Zoro 6 Plus because it kind of lines up with Wano. That could be. I mean, like he
Oh,
doesn't need it, but like
Yeah.
it definitely lines up with like stuff that's going on per se. So there's definitely that's. I think for me that'd be a shout.
okay. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, 6 Plus
Or
Roger. Fuck
V2
it.
Kaido.
V2 Kaido 6 Plus would actually be
Ooh.
crazy because they could give him the they could change his increased damage to like lower how much it is, but make it go through like defensive through immunity.
Oh, dude, that's actually such a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2 times, and then if the enemy has immunity, 1.5 instead, but bypass.
But go bypass. Yep.
Yeah,
Totally.
no, I dig that. That's actually perfect.
There we go. All right, our
That's
guesses
really
are
that's
there.
like all they do to make him better. Actually, to be honest.
Yeah, he doesn't need that much. I mean, it'd be nice to have like another boost as well in his special, like something else there maybe. But otherwise, like he doesn't really need too much overall.
No, not at all.
All right,
That's good.
gentlemen, get your sad hats on, wipe your tears.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Global, the 7th global anniversary.
Man,
Woo!
I can't believe it, man.
7th global anniversary snuck up on us, although we were completely aware of it. On the JP version, has been labeled as the worldwide celebration anniversary, whatever. On global, is considered the 7th anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So where are we starting with this?
I'm gonna start from the initial. We got a tease on Twitter. I think the last thing we'll do is talk about the legends because that's like the biggest portion of it. But we got a tease on Twitter that kind of showed a lot of little icons, and it was meant to allude to the release of, like a bunch of characters, a bunch of these.
Yeah, that was nice.
Red scabbards, and I was happy with it. We had the release of like basically it showed like Oden, it showed like the Kinemon Denjiro, showed the Kawamatsu, showed the Ashura, so it was really cool that there was the tease came out.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic to have that. And then we got a notice from the admins that specifically stated in the next version update, which is very weird because they had already announced 11.2.4 or whatever. So everyone assumed that this was for that update, but in reality it wasn't. But
that was so weird. They really shouldn't have posted
there was
that.
no point for this to come out, but it's worth talking about regardless.
Yeah.
We got news of Grand Voyage, a new power-up system, and then some other little tidbits. So, I will read it verbatim, then we'll discuss it, I suppose. Actually, we'll read it all together. So, Grand Voyage. Grand Voyage is a game mode where you are expected to use existing characters to clear a difficult event. You do not need to clear each challenge multiple times. However, it is stated that you need to be able to figure out how to clear the challenge from various crew compositions. Grand Voyage will offer the materials required for level limit break.
Right.
Ooh.
Scary.
New power-up system. Level limit break. Level limit break is a new power-up feature in which you can level up a unit 10 levels past their max level. The material required to unlock their level limit break is gained through Grand Voyage. To increase their level limit break, I'm so dumb. Limit break level, you can power up said character using the same character from the exact same evolution line. So, i.e. duplicates. All existing characters will be available for level limit break. Characters with the final tap ability will have the same number of level limit break as their current final tap levels when the version update drops. For example, owning a max final tap Yamato will result in Yamato having a +5 limit break out of +10 possible after unlocking the level limit break of that character. Additionally, same unit power-ups that occur after October 27, 2021 will have their limit break adjusted to the number of times they have been powered up with the same unit. It's a bit of a weird little tidbit there. But and then also, they stole our thing. In other news, the piece of trash, they're out there listening, man. There will be a campaign held to give players legends based upon their pirate level. Rayleigh's Bazaar will have materials for level limit break. The legend ticket will include legends that debuted before January 1st, excluding limited time legends. This pool includes every legend before Roger and Whitebeard debuted. A lot to break down. A lot to break down here. So I don't know where you want to begin.
The thing about it is this really shouldn't have been posted because, yeah, as you said, everyone was expecting. Oh wait, is this coming like with this upcoming maintenance for the anniversary? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, actually, no, by the way, this is just coming out later on. We just thought we'd tell you now so that you can be prepped for it later.
Correct.
In my head, the reason why I think this happened is I feel like they were originally planning to have a Yoshi video for this anniversary period. Yeah, and he probably would have revealed this stuff. And then they're like, actually, oh, wait, we don't have enough time for this. Let's just post the information that we would have posted otherwise.
I agree.
I feel like it's just weird. I don't really understand it. But, I mean, in terms of the actual stuff that's coming, I'm excited for it. I mean, Grand Voyage is obviously the thing that everyone's looking forward to. We don't have any information about what it's going to do, but we do know that it gives us an item for the level limit break system.
Yep.
And then level limit break itself, well, I mean, there's lots of theories going around about how it's going to affect a character. I mean, a lot of people say it's literally just going to increase their level cap. So instead of just maxing out at 99, they'll go to like 109 or something.
Yeah.
Which would mean that they'll get additional statistics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. If that is the only thing that it does, I'll be disappointed as hell. Because, you know, you're supposed to be clearing Grand Voyage to get items to increase level limit break. But if the only thing you get out of it is increased stats, it's just like when the limit break expansion first came out, because a lot of legends that had it were just getting increased stats and that was it. It's like, what's the fucking point? So it's a bit confusing as to why everything's coming out now. I would expect all of this to probably release end of April, start of May for the anniversary for Japan.
That'd be my guess
makes the most sense. But man, so weird, man.
So on what you mentioned, Yannicka, our community manager, is in this subreddit Discord, and she did mention that this will not be coming in this update, which obviously this happened in the past. So thankfully, she kind of pointed out that this was like kind of a mistake, but not like it just isn't coming in the update, which is perfectly fine. My assumption, although I'm probably wrong, is that it's going to be a limit break onto their limit break abilities. That's my guess.
Okay.
And the reason why that's my guess is because they specifically talked about the final tap stuff. That's where like my hunch comes in from. Because it'd be very weird to discuss that your final tap, if it's level 5, will stay at level 5 instead of going to level 10 or whatever. Like, that's where kind of my head's at, I suppose. But again, like that could be way wrong too. So like I think what it's going to be is it's going to be like the item you get from Grand Voyage will be a key or whatever of a new kind of key that you'll use to like unlock that path. Mm-hmm. And then you can earn like, let's call them Neo limit break materials, for example, because I don't know what else to say, but like you can earn Neo limit break materials and then use those to like limit break the character further. But only those materials are purchased from the raid shop or acquired from drops potentially in Grand Voyage. That's my assumption of what this power-up system is going to be. But I would actually like, I would hate it if it was like, oh, your V1 Whitebeard gets 10 levels. It's like, no. Unless those levels were like, it gets more stats, but it also increases his captain ability. And like, so if you go from level 99 to level 100, he gets plus 100 of every stat or whatever, and his captain ability gets buffed from like a 4x to a 4.15 or whatever. and you get him to like level 101, he does this. Level 102, you know what I mean? Like if that's how they did it, I could see that being okay. But if it was purely just like you go from level 99 to level 109 and you just get stats, that's no bueno. I'm not down for that whatsoever.
So the thing is the reason why I think it's going to be something very basic is because every character in the game is getting it on release. Because we've seen with with limit breaks in the past, it seemed like every limit break tree was catered to that one unit, whether it be a specific captain ability upgrade or a certain amount of cooldown. Typically they're tailored towards that one unit. But the fact that every unit is getting it on release leads me to believe it's like a blanket thing that they can just apply to all units. So that's why I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. Unless if they've
Wait,
literally prepped this ahead of time heavy, I don't really understand how they're going to do that.
yeah, you don't think the team put in a lot of effort to make sure that every character got accounted for what they do?
No
Dude,
shot.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
Mr. 4 is going to be packing heat, bro.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
It's the fact now that you say that, you're right. Like, because there's no way that they went and did 4,000 characters individually and figured out how do we buff 4,000 characters.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, look, I hope it's something very, very cool, like cooldown or captain ability upgrades, but I'm not personally expecting it.
Fuck the cooldown. I don't care anymore about cooldown. Was like important like 2 years ago. Now it's like now every event you play, there's boosted units and they're always freaking cooled down anyway. True. So like it doesn't even matter, like, which is such a shame. But we won't get into the content cycle today. But like it's such a weird. It's just like it's such a weird post because it tells us a lot, but at the same time tells us nothing.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of info, and again, there's no reason for this to be posted at all as well.
It just added to the confusion.
Correct. The only benefit is that Grand Voyage is you're expected to use existing characters to clear a difficult event, so hopefully they actually mean difficult. And then it says, you do not need to clear each challenge multiple times. However, it is stated that you need to be able to figure out how to clear the challenge from various crew compositions.
Wait, so is it one challenge or is it challenges?
I feel like it's going to be multiple challenges, but every challenge... I think it might be like the Dokkan thing, in a sense, maybe. Where not like you pick 100 characters and you build teams, but like maybe like it heavily restricts what kind of characters you can use, which I guess
or characters get super buffed depending on like
exactly.
It might be like like all Sanji units get like double stats and like max cooldown or something like that.
Exactly right. Or like for this challenge you have to use Whitebeard or something along those lines. Like no matter what Whitebeard you use, it could even just be like a random like Whitebeard on your
ambush
crew.
Whitebeard.
Yeah, like it might even say specific like characters that you have to use or whatever too. Because that was my hope. My hope was that it would be like farming medals in Dokkan to ECA. Yeah. So like you use Whitebeard in a quest, and like you play and you play and you pay and you power him up, and you get like a material that's specific to him. And then you use that material to like max him out, and then when you max him out, he gets a really good buffed captain and special and ability, like, but clearly, like from that line that they mentioned that every character will have a level limit break from release, it doesn't make any sense for them to do that anymore.
Not really.
Unless they did go through 4,000 units, but if they did that, we might be able to excuse the shittery that's been the last like 4 months of Treasure Cruise.
Yeah, you might be right.
Like if they end up saying, "Hey, we've gone through and every unit has been buffed accordingly, so they're all usable," we might be able to excuse the lack of content and all that kind of stuff.
It might be one of the best updates of all time.
Exactly, but what are the odds of that? Probably slim to none.
Yes,
we can hope.
Imagine one of the quests.
Go.
I said, imagine one of the quests you have to use a Kainu, but the Kainu's the kimono one.
Bro, when are they bringing him back, dude? When
Never,
is he
never
coming
once.
Never.
back? He's
Never
only been
once.
he's only ever been on like 2 banners ever. Crazy.
That
I
guy.
don't think he's been out for
That
like 2
man is.
years.
He might come back in the metal
Metal
shop.
shop.
Dude, if
Yeah.
he's in the metal shop for like 100 points, he's literally better than like a lot of legends you can buy.
Literally.
Like he's actually pretty old, and he's still like one of the best limited time units ever. He's so good.
I swear, there's always that weird character in Treasure Cruise that's like, this unit is so old, or it's just such an obtuse unit to come out, but yet it's one of the most incredible units in the game still. So,
And that
Yes, that's
Aokiji's good too.
yes.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't know. There's not really much else to discuss in terms of that next
Nah.
version update stuff.
We just have to
but
wait until we get more information.
At this point, like, you can only speculate so much about Grand Voyage until it's just like Grand Voyage. You have to just wait for it to come out before you can actually like discuss it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll wait and see for that. Moving on, we got the actual global anniversary. We had a campaign. Holy
Oh, shit.
dooly, lads!
No
An
way.
actual campaign for an event. What a time to be
Shit.
alive, right? Let me just scroll
Huge.
down to this campaign real quick. So it started off with being we got 5 free multis, including, so one of those multis was included on the actual banner. Otherwise, the other 4 multis were just kind of like,
Dude,
like,
those free multis
whatever.
were so garbage too, because
I
like
hate
even
it here.
like I don't understand. It's an anniversary celebration. Why not just make all the free multis on the actual anniversary banner? And the one multi that we did get on the anniversary banner was still flat 5% legend rate, and all the legends were available.
If they wanted to just do that, they could have just had all the free multis available on the banner, like as the
Right.
banner itself. But then just said there's no legend rate boost. Like it's part 1 without the legend rate boost. They could have just done that. And like, okay, go. Here's 5 free multis every day for this banner. Like, do that would have been at least better, because you might have had a shot of getting one of the rare recruits. That would have been the positive aspect of those free multis. Otherwise, all the free multis were hot garbage.
They
Like,
were.
that was absolute useless. I think I got 1 legend in the 5 multis. I think
Oh
it was.
wow.
I got 1 legend in the 5 multis, and that was about it. So, yeah, that was fun.
I forget what event it was, but they should do what they did. There was one time, I think it was JP 7th Anni or some shit like that, where they had at the end of the free multis, there's like a legend
Legend,
guaranteed.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should do some shit like that.
That was for,
Well, they should have did something like that.
That was for at least on global, I think that was for the super type release.
That sounds
like-
about right.
When
Yeah.
the
Okay,
Snake
yeah.
Man Cyber blah, blah, blah release. Because everyone was getting like, so I remember I don't know if it was, I think it might have been like Boris or something like that pulled like V3 Katakuri on the free multi on that like 11th poster, I think it was.
Damn.
And then
Oh, he
everyone was
did,
like,
yeah. I
And
remember that.
I think because I remember that part, so I think that was the Sugofest where it was guaranteed at the. Yeah, that's correct though, because like they don't give medals anyway, so who gives a shit like about
Right.
the free multis? But like, don't make it just completely utterly dead weight. Like it's a shame. But anyway, it is what it is, I suppose. We move on. We have a login bonus. It's basically 2 gems a day. On the last day, it's like 14 gems. So like, I think it's like 30 or 40 gems total from the whole login. So that's pretty neat.
So-
There is a legend ticket, I think, at the very end as well. So the end of like March essentially. So, the end of the login campaign. So that's pretty cool. There was 100% skill up for 1 day. So I hope that to those that saw it, used it. Otherwise,
It's
too
so
bad.
stupid.
I don't understand why it's
like,
1
come
day. But
on, bro.
and it was like the
Like, why-
first day of everything releasing too. So it's like you have to pull. If you didn't pull on part 1 and you're like a new player, you can't 100% skill up your new characters. You have to wait
Yeah.
now, essentially, which is just
It's so
ridiculous.
Like even just I don't get it. Like what's the I don't get it. It's just why only 1 day?
It's such a backwards kind
And
of
the thing is
idea.
like a lot of people were deciding to not even pull on part 1 anyway. So
Yeah.
even if like they wanted to max their new units on like part 2 and part 3, they didn't have the 100% skill. Like at least make it for like at least a day into part 3. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, man.
And then there was a weird returning players campaign, which I'm frustrated about. But Returning players, they get 100 gems, 100 of every fragment, 50 crystals, 5 of each shard, 5 of each jewel, sorry, 50 million berry, 500 forbidden tomes, 30 almighty manuals, 10 4-star lobsters, 30 3-star lobsters, plus 300 of every candy, 20 large limit break potions, and 10 large stamina meats.
Okay.
Like, that's
Weird.
awesome. But what about the people that are still fucking playing?
Like,
That's my frustration. It's like, why don't we get rewards for A, it's the fucking anniversary. Where are our rewards for celebrating anniversary and because we've still been playing? B, yes, I understand you want to bring returning players back because that buffs the player count and it looks better on in a fucking Excel chart. But like, there are people that are still playing your dick ass game. Reward them for still playing the game, not just returning players. This list should have been for everyone, returning or otherwise, new, returning or existing. Everyone should have got 100 gems, 100 of every limit break material. 50 million. Everyone should have got all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't have just been returning players.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well is the fact that, like, if those returning players were playing, they would have earned more than that anyway. But you are right in the fact that they should still be rewarding the players that are actively playing their game. I completely agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
And again, I'm not someone that really cares about like the free. I don't complain about like, the free gifts or like, oh, we only got one Apollo gem for the maintenance taking longer. Like, I don't care about that kind of stuff. But to me, it doesn't make sense when like it's an anniversary event that you've advertised it as Global 7th Anniversary, but you haven't treated it as Global 7th Anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets to me a lot. But before I don't want to get too granular into analyzing this anniversary. We have the Oni 1 Banshu point farming event that came out as well. So that released a new like Orochi's Oni 1 Banshu units. They're pretty shit.
This support's okay, but like it only attaches to Orochi, and there aren't many Orochis you'd be actively using. So
yeah, so it's pretty lame there. And then we have the Blitz battle as well. So Todd, do you wanna hop on that Blitz battle real quick?
Yeah, the Blitz battle. Yeah, that was amazing. Man, dude, like, all right, so yeah, the Blitz battle was a really annoying event. It's kind of weird as well because it starts at a really weird time. So the Blitz battle starts at like what is it 5-6 hours after news time. And it was kind of funny because Pappy and I were both talking about it, that we were actually out when it actually occurred, when it actually started. Like, I was out at the movies and he was out doing something else, and we both come home and like, oh wait, oh, the Blitz battle started, we completely forgot about it. And that just like goes to the fact that not a lot of people were that hyped about the celebration, because it just felt like the rewards were not as good as what they usually feel like for an anniversary celebration. And people just were playing other games, especially because like Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West and all that had been coming out. Everyone's
Right.
been focused on other different things, and yeah, this anniversary celebration was pretty whack. I mean, the Blitz battle is fine. It's basically like every other Blitz battle that we had prior to. We had a Blitz battle actually during the New Year's celebration with Roger Whitebeard and the Straw Hat crew. But the thing is in this Blitz battle that we have now, usually there would be tickets that give us limited rare recruit pulls or support tickets, PvP rare recruits, stuff like that. And those tickets aren't even here this time, where they were on the New Year's one. So yeah, it just makes it that much worse. But at least it is only going for 50 hours or something, not going to be like 5 days like when it was on Global's Kaido anniversary, which was one of the worst anniversary celebrations ever. And I think a lot of people are going to say the same thing about this one. This one being probably one of the worst Blitz battles ever. I don't know. This is just stupid. But we did get a new free to play Kaido in this Blitz battle, and this free to play Kaido is very unique because he actually has some things that that no other free to play unit actually has. So the reason why he's interesting is because he actually has Final Tap. Now, it is a free to play unit that has Final Tap, which sounds cool in theory, but the Final Tap isn't that good because it only gives him 700 base attack additional. And because he is a free to play unit, his stats aren't the best. So, in a lot of instances, even with Final Tap, he's not even going to have a higher stat than some other legends you would run on the team. But his captain ability
Right.
is also really bizarre because he only gives a 3 times attack boost if the first listed class on a character is driven. So if their secondary class is driven, he doesn't boost them. So that is so weird,
That's dumb.
right? Like if he just
That's
boosted
dumb.
if it was just all driven units, and then he also says if they have a strength slot, it becomes a 4.5 times boost. So a driven unit with a strength slot is 4.5. So in theory, it
Okay,
sounds
yeah.
good, but again, it has to have the
Mhm.
first classes driven. Like so
Yeah, that's
weird.
weird. Uh,
Yeah.
let's see. Akainu versus Akainu, he's powerhouse driven, right? Not
That's a good
driven
call.
powerhouse.
No, he is driven first, so you can use him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he would work.
Yeah. I think someone counted as well. I don't know if it's true or not, I haven't looked myself, but apparently there's only like around 200 units in the game that have driven as their first listed class.
Oh no.
So it's not that many, unfortunately. But it sounds cool either way, but, like, just if they just got rid of that first class would have been a really good captain
Mhm.
effect because he also does boost the chances of landing strength slots, and then his special ability, removing despair and burn by 3 is pretty decent. 300 times his attack and strength damage to all enemies, which is pretty good for
Okay.
a free-to-play unit, like, he does, like, over 500,000 damage AoE. He also removes positive buffs and also changes all slots, including block, into strength slots and a 2.25 times attack boost to driven. So great special, and that's going to see a lot of play in a lot of teams. So I don't see an issue with that. Captain ability is a bit weird. Mm.
Yeah. Definitely don't see anyone using him as a captain
Mm.
anyways, compared to like
No,
using just a legend.
not at all. He also does have a super type as a free to play unit, which is really cool. And you do
Oh.
need an Orochi, King, Queen, or Jack on the team. And it's going to reduce strength cooldown by 1 and changes all slots into strength. So that's good. He's got orb manipulation in his special and his super type, so you can use it on multiple stages to get that 4.5 times multiplier. I love that. Um, but yeah, he's just kind of okay. But I'm really looking forward to seeing like how this affects future free to play units. Maybe during May's anniversary, we'll get another free to play unit that's like super type final tap or super class final tap with a free to play unit that introduces cool mechanics. But yeah, he just
He's
seems
the
okay.
only super type character that isn't a legend besides that what was it, the Ichiban Kuji Luffy, right?
Oh, and there was the free to play Luffy that came out,
Oh yeah,
the Psy
that one,
one.
the Psy one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
so they're the only ones, yeah. Okay.
there haven't been many at all. So I'm really happy that they're doing something a bit different rather than just a base free to play unit. But that's I like that. So it's a bit different.
Yeah,
Um,
that's nice.
but then we got the actual Sugofest for the anniversary itself. So the Sugofest, oh man, that structure is just it's something else. Um, So I can't remember off the top of my head, but there were so many steps that were just, oh, it's a legend or a rate boosted character. I
That's like
love
20
Sugofest.
something, right?
Uh, yeah, it was like
Like
so
20
part.
steps or like that, and then like 8 and 9 were a legend, and then 11 and something were like a super like limited legend or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so for part one, it looked like 21 of the 30 multis were legend or rate boost. One, two,
Jesus.
three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Yeah, 21 of the 30. Oh no, sorry, 21 of the of the. No, okay, I don't know, I can't count. Either way, there's a lot of steps
Oh.
that have stupid step. But the thing about part 1 in this Sugo Fest as well is that all legends were available in part 1, which, severely reduced the chances of you pulling anything half decent. But at least so even though, like, all the legends were available, each individual unit of Kinemon Denjiro and then V2 Oden, they both had, like, 0.25 rather than zero point 0.0 whatever the fuck it was. So
Uh-huh.
people could still pull on it and have a decent chance at getting them. And then also on the 10th multi of part one, each poster is 50% chance to be a legend. But again, with so many legends available, there's a high chance you're not going to get what you want. Um, and,
Right.
and still, at the end of part one, even if you go to the 25th multi, which is the last step there, you're not guaranteed to get one of them. So I don't like that at all, and that's part of the reason why I didn't decide to pull there. Part 2 and 3 is at the 30th multi, guaranteed to get Oden or Kinemon and Denjiro on part 3. And there's no 50% red poster step on parts 2 and 3 either, which kind of sucks. Would have been nice to have that there. But as for the units themselves, the Sugofest, not good. The structure is terrible for an anniversary event, but the actual units themselves.
I'm glad I'm back at this point. I apologize. Yes. I had a phone call. Let me just interrupt you real quick. Blitz battle, fucking shit. Actual dog shit. This Blitz battle is one of the worst Blitz battles I've ever witnessed in my entire life.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the actual event itself, like as in like the fact that if you don't have the new batch, it's so bad.
The final boss has 2 variations. The
yes.
Strength or the int one. Strength one, fucking pretty much piss easy. You just kill it. The int variation it fucks you over. The revive is dumb as dog shit. Furthermore, the strength one has interrupts for when you do anything to do with attack or I don't know what it is. Interrupts you a whole bunch and fucks. Like, it's the most ignorant decision to do that. I don't understand why. Like this is not a celebratory blitz. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No,
this is one of the worst blitzes I've ever witnessed in my entire life.
Yeah, if you don't have the rare recruits, like the point boost that you get is so horrible.
Yeah,
and it's like, how do you even expect people to get to that 20k mark?
That was my issue. So many runs. Sorry to hijack it all, but like that's my issue. Is that we always talk about the end game player or the beginning player. We never talk about the casual, like mid game player. How the fuck is a mid game player gonna have a 3.1x team and gonna do 20,000 points? A 3.1x team gets you 300 points if you do a 3x run. A 3x run is 120 stam. That's 30 runs. So it's like, I don't know how much I don't know. It's just like, it's more than 30 runs. It's 60 something runs. So it's like 7,500 stam you need just to get the points. Who the fuck has enough for this 7,500 stam?
And the thing about it is as well is that a lot of people were opting to skip the Sugofest in its entirety, which obviously means that people aren't going to have the units at all.
Me.
So it's really bad.
It's so frustrating because I understand their methodology because they almost got me. They almost got me to pull. Because I was getting so pissed off at the content that I was like, if I just pull and I get Oden or Kinemon Denjiro or the rare recruits, I'm going to have a better time. But I was like, no, I have to hold solid and not pull on this banner. Because there's no value towards doing that. And I guess that kind of segues us into the banner. So, I mean, I think you talk about the banner, so I think we're up to the units, right? The V2 Oden and the Kinemon?
Yep.
Have you guys
talked about the units?
Kaido,
we talked about the Sugofest though.
Yeah, Sugofest is weird. Like Todd
Kaido
said,
was good.
The Kaido's pretty cool. First unit to have super type and final tap in the same unit. Very weird choice to do in the same unit, but like...
And it was just the fact that like we actually like the unit, but the captain ability is a little wonky.
Correct. I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with that too. So, as Todd probably mentioned to you guys, 12.5% red rate, 3 parts. Part 1, all legends available. Yuck. Part 2 and 3, 25 legends on each part. You had V2 Oden, Kinemon Denjiro, Ashura Doji, Kawamatsu, and Raizo as your new characters.
Indeed.
Alright.
Indeed.
Oden would not be Oden if it was not boiled. So V2 Oden is a slasher free spirit Psy unit.
Ooh, another Psy free spirit.
Another Psy free. I love Psy free spirit. Reduces the cooldown of all specials by 1. Boosts the attack of slasher and free spirit characters by 5x. HP by 1.35. And makes Psy and in orbs beneficial for slasher and free spirit characters. If you defeated an enemy last turn, boost the attack of slash and free spirit characters by 5.25 instead. His special is increases the boost effects of attack and orb amplification buffs applied by slash and free spirit characters by 0.25 for 3 turns. If HP is above 80% at the time the special is activated, boost the color affinity of slash and free spirit characters by 2.5x by 2.25 Otherwise, if your crew has color affinity already, boost the attack of Slasher and Free Spirit characters by 2.25x for 3 turns. And if HP is below 50% at the time the special is activated, reduces damage received by 95% for 1 turn, and recovers 10,000 HP. He's super special, so he is a super slasher unit.
Yep.
So his super special requires one of the red scarabs, or Roger, Whitebeard, or Hiyori. And it's boost the chain rate growth. So chain multiplicative 1.25x for 1 turn, and changes all orbs into matching orbs, and then it gives you the super slasher boost.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. That was a mouthful, but what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about Mr. V2 Oden here?
Yeah, I've been using Oden a little bit, and I love the captain ability. Like, it's very basic, but it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the super class effect. I think that's also very, very good. Though, odd choice that Toki is not one of the characters that can proc it.
I mean, was gonna say, yeah.
The legend Toki can, because Momo and Hiyori are on that character, but a solo Toki unit will not proc this super type. I think it's an oversight. I don't know why that's not the case. And also, Izo is not included there either, even though you're not really going to be running an Izo anytime soon, unless if they release another one. But
yeah,
I feel
true.
like Izo probably should have been on here. But yeah, weird. But the special is the weird one, because if you're using the special like by itself, and you're like just expecting the special to help you just kill a boss by itself, not really. This is a special that you definitely need to partner with something else in order for it to be really good, because he gives color affinity upon activation. If you have color affinity, you get the attack boost instead. I in some instances I kind of would have preferred it if it was attack boost first, and it's like, if you got an attack boost, do color affinity instead. I think that would have been a bit better.
Yeah.
But I like the new mechanic that he has. The fact that he can increase the effects of attack and orb boost that are applied by a slasher or free spirit unit. That's really cool. And remember that if you have Luffy and the crew on your team, that effect can work for all units, not just for slasher free spirit. If you have them as the friend captain. So very, very cool mechanic.
Once again, Straw Hats showing why they're the best legend in the game.
Yeah, they stay winning.
I pretty much echo everything you've said. I think that I really like this new buff.
Yep.
I think it's... Oh, we didn't talk about the new debuff. Oh! So the new debuff, Bleed and Blitz Battle, essentially cuts your max HP by 5% every turn. Anyway.
Whack.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yes, I echo everything you've said. I think the new increase boost thing is really cool because it lasts for 3 turns. So you can pop it on stage 4, get a bunch of attack and orb boosted, go to stage 5, do the exact same thing. And like Todd said, bring Straw Hats. Now you're playing with a little bit more gas. You can boost just pretty much every class in color, essentially, which is super convenient there.
Toki is going to be amazing with this unit.
Toki's already like busted with this unit completely. Like, it's ridiculous because her stuff now goes to an attack and orb boost of 3.75x, which is just wild because that's enough to clear everything. Like 3.75 on 2 units, like it's game over at that point, right?
So like you just run like, still again, Bon Clay, you run Oden, you can run Toki.
Done. That's Kizuna completed. Every Kizuna fight is completed. You literally have 3 unit slots to deal with debuffs then.
Yeah.
Done. Like you don't need to do anything else.
Boosted friend captain and then like 2 other units.
It's kind of crazy how like that works out, but I mean, it's very positive. I don't. It's like I think I definitely do agree. Like I hate the fact that the color affinity is the first buff that gets procced.
Yeah. So like, you can kind of pseudo get around it if you're hypothetically planning to use him on the final stage.
Yeah.
You could have like a support that gives color affinity, and then you can use it. That's an idea, but it's not bad though because he does give. So if you're above 80%, you get a 2.5 color affinity. Otherwise, it's 2.25. So it's fine. But then so if you have the color affinity and you launch it to get the attack boost instead, it's actually a 3-turn attack boost, which can come in kind of clutch, to be honest. And it does mean that if you're running double Oden, if you use like 1 Oden and then the second Oden straight away, you can get like a 2.5 times attack boost for 3 turns.
3 turns, yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
He's an interesting unit. Like his kit, like I'm so glad that they chose to not make this a Super Sugofest unit, because he's not really that good
I mean,
as a Super Sugofest unit.
They definitely could have and just buffed all the numbers. They could have just made it like a 3 times color affinity and like a 2.75 attack boost or some stupid shit.
I think the cool part in his captain ability is that it's a flat 5x, and if you've defeated an enemy in the last stage, your attack boost will be 5.25. So it's pretty common to always have a 5.25x boost to your slash and free spirit characters. I mean, I'm pretty happy with
it. You know what you can do?
Here we go.
To get around the color affinity, you can use, drumroll please, V2 Shanks.
Oh shit!
I mean V3 Shanks. V3.
Halloween Shanks, aka
Fuck Stump.
Fuck that guy. That guy fucking stinks. Smell it from here, lad. I agree. But it's, I don't know. Like, there's not really much. Like, it's kind of like I think the coolest part is the new buff. That's the best part about his kit.
Yep, I'd agree.
And everything else is kind of like, it exists. It's pretty cool. There are going to be situations where it's really, really good. And I feel like this Oden unit is going to be one of the better characters to have for Kizuna.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, the Toki, Oden and Bon Clay trio is now like, you have attack boost, you have chain lock, you have you have
base attack boost,
base attack boost, color affinity. Like, it's, you got a lot of stuff there now to play with. So I think there's a lot there. His support attaches to all the same people in his super criteria. And it's a 1.5x color affinity to slashers only. Why? I don't know. It should be a slash and a free spirit.
It's still fine. It's fine.
It's still good. It's still one. Like, color affinity is like, I feel like color affinity isn't something that you build for in a team. But if you can get it, it's bonus. So getting a 1.5x color affinity from a support, super good.
Yeah, it's fine.
He does have Enrage, Pinch Healing, and the new Reduce Special Use Limit Duration. It's a new... Global got the tablets during... I don't know, the merge thing? The Roger Whitebeard thing?
Yeah.
But, so that's a new... I don't know what it does. I think it's the silver lock thing, or is it the...
Yeah, it's the one that prevents special limit.
So there you go.
The one that, like, you can only use a certain amount of specials per turn. Yeah, he just removes it. But the problem here is it only removes 3 turns of it, and that's all it does at max. So
it's kind of whack.
That's lame.
It's a waste. Like, it really should have done, at least had an additional effect, or just it should have been something else rather than that. It should have been
completely removes it at max. I mean, how long do they usually last for?
I mean, definitely not too long, but there are some that can last for a while.
What would have been?
I think most are like 10.
Yeah, 10 makes sense.
Just wait for the Kizuna where you get
30.
special limited. You can only use like 2 specials on the last stage or something. And it's like, oh, you better have Oden.
What would have been your added utility to that limit break ability? Like a -1 cooldown or something like that?
That would have been pretty neat, actually. Maybe also like remove a bit of special bind if they're inflicted with it.
Yeah.
Or like the special lock as well. You know, the one where you can't reduce your cooldown. You have to hit like a perfect to unlock your special.
Yeah.
Like reduce like it should have been 5 turns of special limit and 5 turns of special lock thingamajig.
Yep. Or just completely remove special lock and then I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. I think the main point of this unit, aside from his new buff, is his PvP kit. So,
yes.
Oden, he is broken. Oden removes his 100% resistance to silence, 30% damage reduction from driven characters. His ability is applies level 6 attack and HP up to free spirit characters, and for the first 40 seconds applies level 3 defense up to Psy characters. He's level 10.
I think that's wrong. I think
Solaris, man, you get the freaking shit in English now.
Hang on.
Jesus.
This guy.
Something missing there. So his passive is free spirit characters get level 6 attack, level 6 health, and level 3 defense. And then on top of that,
Oh my
an
days.
additional level 3 to size. So he does what it does there, but also level 3 defense to free spirit as well.
Solaris on the copy and paste thing, I see. He's moving kind of mad, you know. But
Exposed.
Get it. We got it. This is like our subsidiary job on GGP is to find all the mistakes in the database and just echo them out to people that you tell him. I'm sorry.
But either way, level 6 attack, level 6 health, level 3 defense to free spirit. Amazing.
Yep. And then his level 10 special is targets free spirit characters for level 7 attack up for 20 seconds. And then he targets enemies within a large horizontal range for 3.5x damage. And he has a 70% chance to action bind for 10 seconds. That's on a 31 CT.
Yeah. I mean, it's not only the fact that this unit has great abilities, but it's also he already has amazing synergies with some of the other characters that are not only Psy units, but are also free spirit. So like Wano Law, Yamato, like it's kind of gross.
Roger
Central. Rebecca and Toy Soldier are a side free spirit unit. What the hell? But also, if you don't want to go the Psy route, there's still like Luffy and the Straw Hats, which is what we're waiting for. Because like Luffy and the Straw Hats, they're so focused around this free spirit class. I mean, you're not going to run them on a full strength or dex team. I mean, you can, but it's just weird because they don't really work super well.
Yeah,
but the fact now that we have these free spirit units that can work really well with Luffy and the Straw Hats. Oh man, yeah, it's a whole different ballgame now.
I think he's really strong in PvP. I think he's like definitely a unit that like he will slot into a free spirit team with ease, but at the same time, his special obviously gives a level 7 attack up buff to free spirit, but at the same time you can just pop him into a Psy team and do 3.5x damage to enemies in a large sidewards range.
And so then also the characters that he hits, he has a 70% chance to just straight up action bind them 10 seconds.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, there's been so many times where I've used Oden. Oden literally just like kills like half the team and then the other half get action binded and it's just game over. Like it's just he's way too good.
So he slots right into free spirit, slots right into Psy teams without a doubt in my mind.
And like one of the other best PvP units ever, like Yamato does so much damage and every time she hits, she does like an additional level 2 attack up. So by the time like Oden actually gets to launch his special, like Yamato may have already launched, which already halves their stats. And then you get Oden's huge damage, which not only buffs his attack even further before he does the damage. Like, it's not even kidding. Like, Oden can get to, like, nearly level 50 attack when he launches his special. And it's just over. Like, he does, like, 20k large sideward range, and it's over.
It's literally, it's free.
Yeah.
So he's
so good.
Very strong. I don't think there's much... I thought we were going to talk about it for ages, but I don't think there's really much...
No, he's pretty basic.
The one thing that pisses me off is that his art is gorgeous. His in-game sprite is fucking stupid. His in-game sprite is basically 6-star Oden and same attack animation pretty much.
Yeah, they were very lazy with the sprite.
Lazy.
Makes no sense though, because you have this really cool moment where he's like, the way he, like, you know, he hasn't got his kimono on. He's like, they could have easily done a sprite with that. Like, and then they've just chosen to make him like basic slasher Oden kind of thing. And it's like, I get it, but at the same time, kind of stupid.
Actually, you know what would have been cooler? Is if like he was in the pot, right? And what would happen is for his attack animation, he literally throws the board with the scabbards on it and they go and attack.
That's what Chato said. El Chato. He was like, he should just throw the pot in his special animation. Oh, but then he wouldn't be considered a slash unit. Shut up, man. Freaking Inu's a fighter unit. Like, get out of there, you know? Like,
you just throw the scabbards at the enemy and then they slash them. That would be perfect.
Nah, but man, you're 6-star
right.
Oden.
Like, he literally is, he looks like V1 Oden. He's got his normal, like, kimono outfit on. Like, he's not even in the fucking pot. And he doesn't even have his beard. Like, in the artwork, he has the beard. And his sprite doesn't even have the beard. It literally looks like V1 Oden.
And, like, mind you, that's a small thing to nitpick. But at the same
yeah.
time, it's a pretty important thing to
Yep.
like get right, you know. And it's
Yep.
a shame that it just like laziness. I think a little bit lazy in my honest opinion.
But I will say that the artwork looks really good, and the
cracking.
the ink effect looks good too.
It's pretty like it kind of like weeds me out that his hand kind of like shakes forward.
Oh
at
yeah.
you. But like it does look pretty cool though nonetheless. So
Dun-dun.
yeah, exactly right. It just does the hand gets it's like the memes are like the hand comes out of the abyss to just come and grab you or whatever. That's what it looks like to me. All right, Oden out of 10. Is he boiled or not?
Damn, I don't know.
No, no.
Like, I like him way more in PvP than like regular content.
Me too.
To be honest,
I'd
probably give it a 8.9.
I'm like, again, I don't own the unit. I've only used him as a friend captain, but I'd probably sit more around the 8.5 range, only because that new buff is really good.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Nightmare, Sweat P.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give him like a 8.78.
Yep. 8.78 out of 1,000. There you go.
Let's go.
And then the counterpart to the global anniversary is the release of Kinemon and Denjiro.
Right.
Also a slasher free spirit character. They are Psy and Quick. Interesting character. Another new buff as well, which is pretty cool.
I love it. But
let's get into it. So, their dual captain ability, I think their captain abilities are relatively similar. I think one of them gives a higher buff than the other, or something like that. I think that's about it, though. Their dual captain ability is boost the attack of slash and free spirit characters by 5x and their HP by 1.5. Boost the chance of gaining recovery orbs, and recovery orbs changes recovery orbs into Wanda orbs. Characters who attack with the type advantage will gain a Wanda orb after attacking. Pretty cool. Their swap.
It's basically just a buffed version of Luffy Zoro.
Also, better Bonnie. It's
right.
way better Bonnie.
Yeah.
Their swap. Here's the new buff. Changes own orb into matching orb and reduces enemies' slasher resistance by 20%. And then their super swap on a 6-turn super swap as well. Similar thing, but reduces the enemy's slasher resistance by 50%.
Right. Okay. Whatever
and then their special real quick cuts HP by 20% that ignores damage negating abilities and barriers, reduces percent damage reduction and increased defense duration by 6 turns, amplifies the effect of orbs of slash and free spirit characters by 2.75 for 1 turn, boosts the attack of slash and free spirit characters by 500 for 1 turn, and becomes Kinemon and Denjiro for 3 turns.
Yeah, look, they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice,
but I feel like they're a little lacking. Like, a little bit.
The captain ability by itself is okay. If you're is always having type advantage, then you can kind of do some crazy shenanigans with that. The fact that you can like just jets if you attack with type advantage, I feel like that's always kind of an underrated mechanic. But like whenever you opt to use Luffy Zoro and you have that ability to just generate a Wanda slot from nothing, it's really freaking good. Yeah. So I do like that, and the captain ability is fine, but like it doesn't do a lot. Like it's just attack and health, and then the orb thing. So nothing broken there. And their special is like I like their special a lot because it's a decent orb boost, and then it's also good utility. Like Rainbow and Blue Shield removal by 6, very useful to have. And it's an orb boost and a base attack boost. I mean, that's fine. It's not the best base attack boost in the game, but it's acceptable. It's an additional boost. Why not?
So first of all, what reminded me of the Wanda slots is why the fuck does V2 Oda not have anything to do with Wanda slots? That frustrated me a little bit. But anyway, we move. I kind of echo everything you've just said. I think the percent damage, like the defense reduction by 6 turns is really cool.
Yeah.
In their special, I think that utility is very useful because if you're bringing this unit as like a captain, for example, or on the like as a crew, like they have added utility, so they're not kind of just like they have a higher captain boost and they're rate boosted or whatever it is. So like They actually have a lot of they have a good chunk of utility in their special. The base attack boost is cringe. 500 is really bad. It should be 1,000. 1,000 should be the default for Legends. I don't understand why it's 500. It doesn't make sense why it's 500. I guess, to contrary, probably the reason why it's 500 is because they have the new buff of the slasher resistance.
Yeah.
So essentially, to kind of say what this buff is that once you swap the unit, essentially it's like a 20% extra damage. And it goes through immunity, and it's stackable.
Right, so if you use 2 Kinemon Denjiro switches, it goes minus 20%, and then the other one will switch, adding another minus 20%, so it goes to minus 40%.
I remember reading somewhere it caps out like minus 999 or some shit like that.
What?
So
oh yeah.
So if that existed, or there was a way for you to stall and just swap and blah blah blah, you could in theory get to 10 times more damage, which probably is impossible for now, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, it's physically impossible to get it, but I assume as they release more and more of these units, it's a very interesting mechanic. And the interesting thing about it is yeah, it goes through immunity and stuff, but there hasn't been a situation where an enemy is oh, I'm going to put up an additional shield so I have more resistance to a certain class or color.
Hey guys, you know what resistance is? I'm going to say a hot take here. It's a better increased damage taken.
It literally is.
It's straight up a better increased damage taken by every stretch of the imagination.
But I just wonder if an enemy does end up putting up an increased resistance against it. So, but then it's gonna get to such an absolute mindfuck if there's a bunch of different units that can apply.
There's gonna be so many icons at the top of the screen.
Right, you're oh, I'm gonna have a buff where I take less damage, where the enemy takes less damage against free spirit, but I'm gonna use this one which reduces your resistance. But my character is a slasher spirit, so you have to calculate both of them. It's gonna be so weird. I don't know.
I agree. I hope that they don't do the part where it's the boss Kaido puts up a 50% resistance to slasher units attacking. But I could see it happening. That's the sad part. I just hope that it isn't you know what it will be though? It'll be a new immunity kind of thing. Be very
immune
similar.
To resistance down or something.
Yeah, exactly right. That it'll be a new immunity kind of thing.
What if that's a way to them to make it so that in content you have to use certain units where I have full resistance against every color except for Dex units, so you have to use Dex units. That would be so dumb. I could probably see it being. What if it's a thing for Grand Voyage where it's
no, shut up.
Okay,
no.
Oh, you have to use a Luffy character, but it has to be a red one, and it has to be a free spirit, or it has to be powerhouse free spirit, or something like that. And he has a bunch of resistances against everything except for one specific type of Luffy.
Oh dear.
I don't know. That'd be so bad though.
I feel that we're on the same. Maybe we're perpendicular to that track. It's a matter of whether we hop onto the other train right now and continue going in whichever direction it is.
Yeah,
I think everything about this unit is pretty good. I think I agree with the captain kind of being very basic, but I think that its saving grace is the fact that Wanda slots are still just absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
and they just do so much. Plus, their ability to generate Wanda slots is amazing. It would have been cool if in their special they gave a full board of recovery orbs or something like that.
Oh, that would be crazy.
And so at least then okay, if they're the captain, you get a full board of Wanda slots. But if they're in the crew, they give you a full board of recovery orbs, and maybe somebody else makes them beneficial or whatever. So at least it's not a guaranteed full board of Wanda orbs. They have to be your captain to get that. So at least it balances that part out. It would have been nice to have that, but I mean, again, we're kind of nitpicking, I suppose. Probably jump into there. They have you guessed it, hunger.
No.
Cringe.
Gross.
Very frustrating, but
actually their critical hit's very good. 100% chance for 10% extra. Nice.
Fuck. That's pretty good.
That's very good.
That's a lot of damage output there. So they're all right. Again, probably the core reason behind this unit is their rumble kit as well. So their resistances are they heal 250 HP every 5 seconds, and their 30% reduction to driven damage. Their level 5 ability is I don't know if this is correct, so you're gonna have to fact check me. Actually, let me just read it off this thing.
I think that is correct.
Solaris, you sneaky man. Free Spirit teammates HP up level 6, attack at level 6, Psi recovery up level 5, and their special is on a 27 CT at level 10. Targets 2 enemies for 2x. Targets 2 enemies for 2x damage. Restores 500 fixed HP every 5 seconds for 21 seconds. A free spirit characters for 21 seconds. Don't know why that's all said there. And applies levels 8 attack, speed, and recovery buff to free spirit for 25 seconds.
Wait, that
wrong. That part sounds wrong. All right.
The part where he says apply the stats to free spirits for 25 seconds, he only applies it to slashes, not free spirits. So weird.
Okay, free spirits.
That is kind of whack though, because why is his passive free spirit buff, but then his special's like, oh, we're gonna buff slash.
Again, same thing. It's just a very very odd decision to make. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me.
I do personally think that it would have been a better way to balance the game if Oden was full free spirit and then this guy was full slasher, or vice versa. Like I don't think both of them should have been like, because you can run both of these on free spirit teams and they're just incredible.
It's I would have liked Oden to be a free spirit superclass unit.
I agree.
That would have been really cool. And then maybe you don't make these guys a dual unit and make them just 2 and 1 and make them a slasher superclass unit.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe their superclass puts the resistance.
Yep.
I don't know. I just think we've had too many dual units now.
Yeah, we've had a lot of dual, because like we had the both New Year's Legends, and then we had Carrot and Wanda.
Yeah.
And then we've had this guy now. So we've had a lot of dual units, and we talked about it recently, but like Whitebeard and Shanks were the last versus unit to come out.
Yeah.
And for Japan, that was the end of May last year.
Yeah.
So we are due for a versus unit.
At some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows when, though? Because versus units are just utterly broken for the most part.
They're very, very, very good. Because they're so good because you can have like one unit that can boost so many different things. It just becomes super valuable. Like even with freaking Ace and Akainu, still one of the best units in the game, in my opinion. Just having one side of the unit being free spirit and shooter focused, and then the other one being driven and powerhouse, and it's such a valuable unit to have. And whereas with the dual unit, it can be finicky at times. They're annoying in PvP because they don't have a color. Even though the switch effects have been getting better because of super switches, which I do love. I love that.
Yeah.
But versus effects is incredible because the enemy can't like remove them or anything. They are annoying to charge, though, I will say.
Yes.
Versus effects can be very, very annoying. So maybe a new way to get a versus unit, because so far all versus effects have been like, in order to charge them, you need to consume certain types of slots.
Yeah, that's right.
It would be cool if there was another way to do that. Either way,
at this point, like we're just hoping for another versus unit, I suppose. But
yeah, we just want another versus unit. I mean, we should have had one with Roger Newgate. Should have been one. But
should have been one. But I mean, we'll probably talk about that until the day the game dies. But I mean, that's fine. All right. End result: Kinemon and Denjiro. How you guys vibing? Out of 10.
I'm gonna give him the exact same score. I'm gonna give him an 8.9.
I'm going to give them the exact same score of like an 8, 8.5. Because I think that they're good. They're fantastic. If you get the unit, like, that's awesome. But they're not a unit that, like, shifts the meta or, like, they're absolutely necessary whatsoever.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. Definitely not a unit you need.
No, not at all.
No. But they're good.
Yeah. Knight, what are you thinking?
Mate?
Sounds good.
Love it.
I guess we'll I wanted to ask the question, since the Sugofest will still be out when this episode released, what do you think if somebody was to pull,
right,
which do they pull on part 2 for Oden, or do they pull on part 3 for Kinemon and Denjiro?
I think it depends on what you're trying to go for. Like, I'd say look at the boosted list and see if there's any like crazy legends. You're like, oh, I really don't have that unit. And I really, really, really want to get him. Depending on the part, you may want to go for that instead. Like, I think Cat Viper's on part 2, Dogstorm's on part 3.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you really want to get one of those, you can go for that. But also another thing is if you are more into Pirate Rumble, if you're really into Pirate Rumble and you already have a really good established side team, I think
Going for Oden.
very
Yeah,
good. I think throughout the month, Oden has great synergy with some of the other really good units in Kizuna. Pretty good in Kizuna, I would think.
Yeah.
So I think probably Oden is going to be a better unit to have. But you've got Kinemon and Denjiro, which have such a really powerful special of providing base attack or boost, and also getting rid of defensive effects, which I also think is going to be kind of key. It's a hard one to pick. I think it really comes down to other units on banner.
Mind you, the banners are kind of trash.
Oh, they
like,
are.
In terms of
I
the
wouldn't really
characters that are
recommend
available.
pulling.
Like, yeah, it's just if you can, like, I understand new Legend, new Oden, really cool. Kinemon Denjiro, really cool. Like, and again, props to Bandai. Kinemon Denjiro Legend, 2 characters that haven't had legends before, so obviously like super neat. But the legends that are boosted are kind of shit. Like, obviously on Oden's part, you have Neko, Nami, Usopp. Again, they how many times have they boosted the Katakuri and the Doflamingo now?
Oh, they've been on like every banner.
Every banner they're available now. But it's just they're not that good. Like, the banners aren't that good in terms of what legends are available. Yeah. So, like, honestly, please avoid the banner.
It's fact it's not a Super Sugo either, so your gems just have inherent less value because you're not being able to pull the Super Sugo units for final tap.
I don't think it's worth it to pull on this banner, but if I was to pull for a unit, it would probably be I think Oden's gonna have longevity in comparison to Kinemon Denjiro, just purely because his synergy with Toki would be my guess. Plus his PvP kit's kind of crazy. I don't know, it's kind of hard though. I mean, like, again, this is like 2 legends that are pretty similar in terms of their quality. So whatever unit you think is going to be better for you at the end of the day, pull on. But I think it goes without saying, just don't pull on this banner at all.
Well, if they were like trying to make these 2 units as balanced as possible, well, they did a pretty good job. Like, I feel like these units are like, they're pretty close to each other in terms of the quality. Yeah. Pretty goddamn close.
So, I mean, and again, keep in mind, these are on regular banners.
Yep.
So, like, there's always an opportunity to pull these units on tickets, on other banners that come out in the future. I'm sure they're going to pop back up on JP Anniversary, which will hopefully be, like, hype and really exciting. So, we'll have to wait and see there. But before we jump into the other news, I want to talk about Global Anniversary.
Yep.
I want to...
How good it is?
Yeah, exactly. I want to, like, cry about how fantastic Global Anniversary is. No. I'm upset because nothing has been provided in this Global Anniversary that justifies it being called an anniversary.
I would agree with that.
There's no reason for them to have labeled this as Global's anniversary whatsoever. They didn't need to.
No, you're right. Like, if you took away the anniversary, like, aspect of this celebration,
it's a regular ass banner.
It doesn't even like make it any better. Like, it's just it doesn't feel like an anniversary, which is like, you hit the nail on the head with that one, honestly. Because the whole celebration, the campaign, well, yeah, you can log in, you can get some pretty decent rewards. Like, we get that, but that's like literally every like mass Sugo that comes out, there's like the same campaign. There was no, like, the free multis were pretty garbage, honestly.
Correct.
This was probably one of the least hype celebrations in recent memory, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, what upsets me is, first and foremost, the Sugofest structure is literally, I think it's essentially identical to the Neko Inu Sugofest, aside from the 50% red rate on the 10th multi on part 1.
Yep.
Second of all, the Sugofest is also worse than the Neko Inu one because on part 1 you have every possible legend available to you, which is ridiculous. The steps are horrid. There's no discounts. There's no reason to go to any kind of extent. I believe it was, Oden and Oden and Kinemon Denjiro on the 30th. I think they are. They're guaranteed on the 30th. That's stupid. 1,500 gems for Oden and Kinemon is not worth it. And I know Todd, unfortunately, is punching himself in the head because he almost had to go to 1,500 gems for Oden on part 2 there. All that stuff's horrible. Secondly, the point farming event was one of the stamp point farming events that always come with big celebrations. In the past, I believe it was the Big Mum one that gave the stamps, gave us 85 gems, 4 rare recruit tickets, 2 Kizuna tickets, 2 PvP tickets, 2 support tickets, and a legend ticket of some kind. This one, we literally got 2 red tickets, one of them being limited, okay, whatever, and then 2 rare recruit tickets for the same amount of farming.
Yeah, and another thing as well is there's like no tickets in the Blitz or the point event that were like PvP rare recruits, no support tickets, like no PvP rare recruits or anything. Like it was just regular 4-star betters. Like I don't understand why they couldn't do it, considering we had the celebrations that were willing enough to do that.
Yeah,
and I don't know whether it's a thing like Bull's anniversary, we're not going to do anything special for it, or it's a thing like, we're only going to do it for Super Sugofest. Like I don't know the reasoning for it. Like if you're going to do this, you shouldn't have titled it an anniversary because man, this is not an anniversary. This is not the way you do an anniversary celebration.
No, the Blitz rewards are basically non-existent. They gave you four gold tickets and a red ticket. Like,
lovely.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting to the point where these tickets are kind of irrelevant for the majority of players. Especially when I'm sitting there pulling freaking Makino and like you're pulling like Bellamy and like the Onion Pirates and like all those like non-existent Kuina or not Kuina, sorry, like that kind of stuff. All those units that like don't have limit break, they have supports that are shocking. Like they're basically irrelevant units.
Yeah, just pulling all these like trash characters from like 2017 or before, and it's just like, well, this is useless. Like I would rather, instead of giving me a 4-star or better ticket,
give me 5 gems.
Give me 5 gems, bro. That'd be so much better. Imagine if every 4-star ticket we got was 5 gems instead.
Bro, imagine if you could like do a transaction whereas like you sacrifice your
even 3 gems.
5 gems. In a heartbeat. I don't care. 4-star ticket gets converted every day. I don't care about the ticket. The ticket's shit. It's irrelevant. Yeah. Like I don't care about but you can get a new legend. I don't care.
Bro,
what's that going to benefit me? Only Knight could fucking get a new legend from a ticket. That's the only man in this whole world that could possibly do it. But like, I'm not upset. I'm disappointed.
Yep.
Like I'm disappointed because the whole point of the merge, at least as I personally see it, was that it was for the purpose of synchronizing the timelines so that there's no longer having to split the work between 2 versions of the game. You can just focus on one version of the game and work really hard to make the content that's being released actually interesting and enjoyable and unique or whatever it is. And I get it. It's difficult to make things fun for treasure cruise these days.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way that everything works is that it's a point farming event, it's this and that. Release a fucking arena. Release a raid unit. Release multiple, like, fucking bring Fortnites back. We don't make them point farming events. Like...
Wait, hang on. Wait, we don't even have an arena.
No arena this month because we got a Blitz. That's how it works.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So...
No arena this month.
No, we haven't had a clash since
Buggy in May?
Since Buggy.
Or whatever it was. Like, I don't understand where the limitations are at for content. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Back in the day, they used to release the Forbidden Tome farming events. They used to release candy events. They used to release, like, damage rank, bro. Bring back damage ranking events or some shit like that. Like, there's so many ways you can make interesting content, like that is specific for the anniversary. Like, imagine if there was like, do you remember when the buggy raid came out? Or not when the buggy raid came out. Remember the limit break farming event that you could play like 5 times or whatever and use like the double buggy? Bring that back. Like, there's so many bits of content that like you can argue are boring, and I agree. Like, a Treasure Cruise content, at least for me right now, is very boring because I'm not a player that goes and plays GARP challenges with new teams for fun.
Yeah.
Like, and I know for Todd, for example, it's his job. So like he gets paid to come up with a new team that beats the GARP challenge, right? Whereas for the common player, we don't. And like, I mean, for some people, like a lot of the people in Stump's Discord, they have fun clearing GARP, and that's more power to them. But the average player, like, as soon as the point farming event, I finished it, I just put my phone down. Blitz came out, I got 20,000 points, I put my phone down. Our whole alliance is in the exact same position where the 10 of us literally do not care about this Blitz battle whatsoever.
Yep.
Because there's no reason to care. Because there's nothing fun.
Like Carissa, she said like legit that she hasn't even done the point farming event. She hasn't done a single run of the Blitz battle at all, and she's like literally about to quit the game, I think. So she's like, just had enough, to be honest. Like, and I think a lot of people have that same sentiment of like they just had enough of like the bullshit.
And if I'm being honest with you, like I'm being genuine, I do honestly believe that this JP shenanigans is going to be a massive point for people. And I always bring up the idea of make or break, but I do think that this JP celebration is going to be a really big contentious point here.
Oh yeah, I agree. If they fumble this one coming up this year, people are not going to be happy. It's going to be like a max exodus, I feel.
But you know the sad part is that they don't care.
No, as long as they make money, they don't care.
The money, and the issue comes back to us as players, because at the end of the day, we can complain on Twitter as much as we want, but we have to vote with our wallets. That's just how the sphere of gaming works.
Yeah, it is bizarre because like a lot of people that I saw in the community, they're like, "Oh, you know, we're not going to pull on this Sugofest." And
bang!
I mean,
everyone pull.
I don't like I don't blame people for doing that. I completely understand, and like honestly, if I was not a content creator, I wouldn't be pulling on this battle. But it's going to be interesting to see the numbers, to see how successful or not successful this particular banner was. Because if it continues to show that despite the terrible anniversary celebration, that they actually still made crazy bank, then I just feel like they're never going to change. Honestly,
that's what upsets me the most, is because like irrespective of how good or bad the celebration really is, the fact that JP players or Japanese players are gonna pull on everything, are gonna spend money. Global is, I would say Global is a loss leader, and the only reason they keep Global around is just to like have it available for English speaking audiences.
Yeah, pretty much.
Otherwise, I feel like Global could get cut off at any point, and it would not make it would not make much of a difference to the overall income month to month.
No, I actually agree completely with that. Like they don't need Global to make profits.
No, not in the slightest. Not in the slightest at all.
No.
So, it's like we're in a very I don't know how to really word it, but
at the same time, you know, with little effort just for translations and stuff, and having just another server up, like they make extra money anyway. So I don't really see the point, unless they literally. Yeah, unless they're literally making no money, like that's not going anywhere. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
I think JP probably makes like 4 to 5 mil a month. Global maybe makes like 1 mil a month.
Yeah,
if you think about it, all the effort gets put towards JP, and then the money they spend on putting it on Global is just translation money. I could be wrong with that, but that's kind of my assumption.
And probably server costs and
yeah, exactly. So if you're looking at like profit per like work unit, like how much they're working to earn the money, I would argue that Global technically makes them way more money. Just purely from like
for the amount of effort that they put in for it. Right. Okay.
I guess not, because technically they have to put in the effort to make the content in the first place.
Well,
But
yeah, it's just doing it. Yeah.
But like even then, the content isn't anything like groundbreaking. Oh, they released the bleed effect. We didn't need that. We don't need the bleed debuff to exist. It doesn't do anything for us. It doesn't benefit us.
Like that's so stupid. Like it doesn't even make the content harder. It's just more of like, why? Why is this even a thing?
It's all these little things, and I think that like global anniversary is gonna break a lot of people, and I hope that people don't quit. But I completely understand if people start just dropping out of the game because I feel like they have like I no longer, I mean, like even like for example, you even tweeted, you're like, oh shit, I forgot there was Blitz. I was the same thing.
Yeah, no, I mentioned that before when you were on your phone call that like when it started, like me and you, we were out. We didn't even like know that it was
on. Came back at 11:30 at night, and I was looking at Alliance chat, and everyone's like, "Oh, Blitz is shit." I'm like, "What do you mean Blitz is shit? Blitz starts tomorrow." Nah, I'm just kidding, lol. It starts tonight. And I was like, "What?" So I just quickly started playing just to finish it up, the 20k points. Even the same thing as the point farming event. I had no idea it started. Then it just started, and I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll play that." Like that's a shame because generally we're on top of everything that goes on.
Exactly.
We know what day, what's happening, when it's releasing, like all this kind of stuff. But now I lack the ambition to know that anymore. I lack the want to sit there and read the news and be like, oh, okay, on Tuesday we have the Sugofest. So on Wednesday will be the point farming. Now I'm just like, if I open up the game and it's out, I'll go on Twitter, I'll find a team, I'll play the event, and I'll stop playing.
Yeah.
And that's not how this game should be played. Like, it's just not how it should. Like, I should want to actively sit there and build my own team. But there's no point in me doing that because there are boosted units that get me more points. So what's the point of having fun with trial and error as a general player if I can just build the most optimal team, finish the event in like 2-3 hours, and then have a relaxation for another week? The dynamic of Treasure Cruise right now is so out of whack that it's just like the cracks are showing, to say the least.
Right, that's a good way of putting it.
The cracks are showing.
There's not even like, because sometimes there would be a piece of content that would come out, and I always like it. I like playing it. Like when Treasure Map first came out, I kind of liked it. Obviously, it was still tedious, but then like as we continued to play it throughout the months, it got more and more tedious, and that's when we started hating it. Even like Kizuna, like I loved Kizuna for the longest time, but nowadays I don't really care for Kizuna anymore. Just the rewards don't seem worth the time investment into it. The fact that there's no special tablets still is crazy. It is crazy when you really think about it, because like the rewards basically haven't been updated since Kizuna has released. The only thing that they've ever put in additionally has been like the insignia, which was the new system they put in, as well as some glory scrolls for Pirate Rumble. Like that's basically the only thing they've added. Which is like, it's just boring, and there's no point in playing it past when you get like all the stuff from box 6. Once you get to box 7, like you can basically stop playing if you want.
Literally, that's what I do. Because what's the point in wasting any more of my resources and my time?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that we're all getting older. We're all having more responsibilities. We're all like having less and less free time. And the fact that Treasure Cruise, and I mean, like, that's a pretty selfish thing to start off with. But like, the fact that Treasure Cruise does not accommodate for the fact that global players don't have time. And mind you, I think the benefit of having the games be on separate kind of versions was that things could be potentially tailored to global players or tailored to JP players. But now that they're both at the same point, nothing can be tailored anymore because it's unfair. And you can't have that kind of system. So like, that's where a lot of the issues for me pop up, because I feel like Global Anniversary is dead. I feel like next year, if we're even still playing at that point, hopefully we are, like, Global Anniversaries are dead. At least to me, like, this didn't feel like an anniversary. I was not excited little bit for it. I didn't even read what the units did until pretty much today. Like, I was not excited for it. I feel like the game has no hype anymore. At least very little hype. Even like, they released the Twitter teaser. I didn't care. I was just like, oh, that's neat. And I just moved on with my day. I didn't sit and think like, who could it be? What did it? Like, you know, I wasn't getting excited. But I honestly believe the idea that global is just getting at least Treasure Cruise is getting worse and worse every day. That's what breaks my heart the most. Like, we've been part of this game mode, this game in general, for such a long time, 7 years now. It just continuously feels like it's worse and worse every subsequent day. And that's upsets me. At least that's my opinion. I'm not going to put that on Todd, but that's me as Captain Papi. That's my opinion. I personally think that Treasure Cruise is just getting more, and like as I've said, one step forward, 2 steps back. If you keep taking 2 steps back, you're eventually going to hit a wall, and you're never going to be able to go forward ever again. Like, it's nothing going to change. And I don't want to get into content cycles. We're going to be here for fucking 3 more hours.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
I agree with you.
The root of the problem is there.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I definitely agree with the fact that there are things with the game that need to be fixed. I think everyone can at least say that. I really don't like what they've done since the merge, to be honest. Like, I personally, as a content creator, I did prefer the difference between global and Japan.
Yeah.
Because it actually helped out the podcast too, because there were just more stuff to talk about. We could talk about Japan stuff, we could talk about global stuff, and as a content creator, that's obviously great because you got more content to make for free, basically. But since merging, global had certain advantages over JP, such as Sugo structure, way better on global before the merge. Also, treasure map rewards, in a sense, because now in our treasure map, the tickets that we get are like limited to like 2 years or 2.5 years now. Whereas before, they were literally always 1 year reds. And since the merge, they changed that to the Japan version of that reward structure. So yeah, it is annoying because with very minor tweaks to a lot of different components, like Treasure Cruise could definitely become a much better experience for the players. And they just opt not to do it because, oh, look, the money's looking good. We don't need to change anything. We're doing good.
That's the sad
it's frustrating.
Part.
Yeah.
Like, I think that people need to start, and I mean, me included, like, start putting your money where your mouth is. And I mean, I think a lot of people in our Discord, at least in our like alliance, like I think like me, Zmart, Game Freak, like, you know, a bunch of people are just like, we're not going to pull, we're not going to even buy gems. Like, it's just like, I think that's a step. And I think people that I think, including myself, people that are going to say the game's bad need to start being more proactive about it. And I think that the main issue with the game is that, as Todd just said, if the money's coming in, that means they're doing everything fine. So the best way to combat that is to stop the money coming in, which means if you're very much against what's going on, stop buying gems. Only spend the free-to-play gems you get from Sugofest. Don't wail out on everything. Limit how much you're spending if you're going to spend it all. Don't pull on every banner. Do these small things to reduce that monthly-to-month income that comes in. I get content can be harder and more tedious, but there are plenty of YouTubers out there that make plenty of fantastic teams to get through content very efficiently and effectively that don't require all the new kinds of legends and rare recruits and whatever. It also means that you can play content for longer, so there's actually something to do. That's also like potentially a positive that people could see. But I think that if you want something to happen for Treasure Cruise, it's not about complaining on Twitter or spamming the community manager or whatever it is. It's about stopping the spending or minimizing the spending as much as possible. That'll have the biggest impact, at least what I think.
Yeah. I think we've pretty much, covered all bases here. Yeah. And I think a lot of people in the comment section will agree.
Yeah, let us know.
I just think most of the community agrees. Yeah. I agree. Let us know.
Speaking of people, that's a really weird segue. Shout out our YouTube members.
Oh shit, let's go.
Make sure if you want to support the podcast, support the boys, do yourself and do us a favor, become a YouTube member, get a couple of sweet perks. You get your name read out at some point of the episode. You get to figure out our schedule when I start to release extra videos. And you have first dibs on topics and questions and all that fun stuff. So I want to give a shout out to My Drunken Monkey, TheLordShiro, Stumpty Gotcha, Mecha Gary, Alex Wisniewski, Kisa, CS Wins, Omni, and Bryan for being members from the good tier all the way up to GGP Producers. Shout out those GGP Producers, which are, again, Omni, Alex, Mecha Gary, and TheLordShiro. You guys
Thank you very much, friends.
You guys are awesome. We really do appreciate it. And, thank you very much for that. So if you haven't become a member and you want to support us even more, make sure you go do that. And while you're down there, subscribe, like, do all that good stuff there. But in other news, we had the Pirate Rumble Marigold free-to-play unit come out. And then alongside that, or not alongside that, but as of today, we have had the release of the Sugofest for the announcement of the Sugofest for the Pirate Rumble Rare Recruit Sandersonia. She is a strength unit. She buffs HP and recovery to strength characters. And if HP is over 60%, applies level 6 attack up to strength characters. At her level 10, she deals 2.5x damage to 3 enemies 2 times. Pretty decent. And when Marigold or Boa are on the crew, she reduces 15% of CT to strength characters. Which kind of leads me to believe that a strength Boa could be coming out at some point soon.
That would be pretty cool. Actually, I know we have at least one Boa. I know
we have the rare recruit strength Boa. We have that's like a Blitz, I think. Rare recruit as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So a strength legend Boa would be pretty sick, I reckon.
Yes, I mean, I get a lot of people understand, kind of hope that there is a strength Boa on the way, but like I don't know, I don't expect them to release another PvP rare recruit legend next month to be also strength related, unless if they opt to bring a strength Boa like in Treasure Map or Kizuna maybe.
True.
Maybe it's not a PvP legend, but I don't like PvP legends in the first place. I mean, for the fact that they don't have super type, they don't have
they're very weird.
They make them like, oh, this unit you have to use it in PvP for it to get the best use out of it. But like the problem is like, Kuma is a thing, is not that great. Borsalino, he's fine.
Yep.
These units in PvP just aren't the greatest.
And I think Enel, out of the three, I'd say Enel's the best.
Enel is definitely the best. And the real thing about him is that he released alongside Rebecca and Toy Soldier, which are like amazing. So that helps out a lot. And then obviously throughout the months, we've had better and better Psy units come out.
Yeah.
So strength's pretty good, but you don't need Kuma on an optimal strength team.
No, not at all.
And you don't need Kizaru on an optimal dex team either. So
there you go.
I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, if they are going to release a strength Boa legend, I'm all for it. Sounds good to me.
Totally. And then the next bit of news there are 100 recollection tomes in the Ray shop. So if you've got nothing to spend your Ray points on, they are 300 each. So 30,000 Ray points. That's just 6 legends. I'm sure you have heaps of them lying around.
That is very interesting that they decided to do that.
It's such a weird item to put in the Ray shop, eh? It's very weird.
I think it's maybe because like, oh, you can use these recollection archive tomes to unlock content to get copies to level limit break a character.
Exactly what I was thinking too.
Makes sense.
What I was thinking.
Yeah.
Which could be pretty cool. I mean, at least it's a way to at least there's some content to farm for the next couple of days when Grand Voyage releases, I suppose. Hey, that's content for you as well. You can release a whole new set of teams for every raid that exists. And then the final bit of content there in other news is the new medal exchange. So nothing too crazy about it, but of the 400 medals you have Whitebeard vs. Shanks, who we just talked about before, Moria, Sweet Commanders, and Legend Jack. 250 you have Arlong and Luffy Zoro. 150 you have Fuji, and I think it's V2 Fuji, sorry, and V1 Law. And then at the 100 medal tier, you have the Christmas... No, it's not Christmas. It's like
an event. I don't know.
Valentine's event, Cavendish, and like some Dex Valentine's. I didn't have the Sanji, so that was pretty cool. I picked him up. Okay. Another unit for the collection log, I suppose. But
as long as they keep adding more units to that, like special time rare recruit event thing, I'm okay with that.
Oh, there you go. It says that White Day, so the male variant of Valentine's Day in Japan, which is like March 14th.
Oh, right. They have got like a Valentine's Day that's like the opposite, where it's like, isn't it something to do with like the women treat the men or something like that.
I think it's like I think on Valentine's Day it's like the girl gives chocolate to the guy, and then on White's Day it's like the guy gives to the guy. I don't know, something along those lines.
It's like a reverse Valentine's Day basically.
But those units are available there, so make sure to pick them up. If you don't, I mean, don't actually pick them up if you have no medals. But if you have if you have lots of medals and nothing to spend them on, I mean, by all means, pick them up. I mean, I picked up the Sanji, but I would like them to release more than just 2 characters as well, I suppose. Like, it'd be nicer to have that, but I mean, again, like, it's nice that they're doing it regardless. So, but
it is also weird that Jack is listed as a 400 medal character.
That's too much. Jack's not a 400 medal character anymore.
No, I don't know why they decided to make it that. That's just really bizarre. I couldn't believe it when I saw him. Like, okay, that's cool that Jack's available, but why 400? He's
too much.
He's way older.
It's too much for that.
Yeah, but I mean, it just depends on the situation. If you don't have Jack, he's still a good pickup considering, you know, if you're a really low pirate level and you're into that, you know, pirate level grind like many people are at, you know, lower levels, then it's worth it. And also he's good in PvP. He's one of the best like defensive style units in there, so yeah.
A little light on the legends, I think. At least I feel like not a lot of legends in this metal shop rotation.
Yeah, it feels very small list.
8 legends total, so it's not the most. But
at least out of Whitebeard v Shanks, that's a pretty crazy.
That's one to have if you don't have Whitebeard v Shanks, I would wait for. Actually, I don't know when this will reset. To be honest with you, the 31st of March. Okay, so the new legend. The new stuff will be out. So if Whitebeard v Shanks is like rate boosted on a part that you're going to pull on for the new batch release, then I guess wait. But if not, Whitebeard v Shanks is probably a pretty easy pickup for 400 medals. Right. That's it for news and content. So
awesome sports.
From everyone's favorite segment to everyone's actual favorite segment, it's the Q&A. As per usual, if you have any questions, send them in to us via Twitter at GGP Podcast or via our YouTube community tab. First question comes in from Liam at LiamLime182. Flame is here just in time for Q&A, so there you go. Welcome, Flame.
Huge.
So at LiamY182, they ask, sorry, do you think Gather Island should be changed or expanded? I like the idea of adding a facility that involves the chance of an extra drop. Yes.
Oh, that's actually a pretty smart idea. I like that.
Yeah. At this point, like, I think there's a lot of JP players that went really hard on PvP. So, I mean, like, for example, Coruscant, who's an anomaly player, but he has, like, 400,000 red tickets or PvP tickets now just sitting there doing nothing. So, like, another island would be pretty cool to add in. And there is space for more islands. So, like, why not, I suppose? So, I mean, I think
that's a really cool one. I didn't think about that one. Like, maybe, like, it starts off at, like a 1% and, like, it just scales up until you get, like, 100% chance for an extra drop or something like that.
I think so. I think that'd be super positive.
That's dope.
All right. Next question from @Panuccio3. They ask, hey guys, how do you feel about the direction the game is going banner step-wise? Hypothetically, if Yoshi continued this structure for the next 2 years, do you think the game will still be alive?
Comes down to the money.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it would still be alive. But I think that a lot of people would have quit before that 2 years.
For sure.
And I think that the people that remaining would not be a lot of like the hardcore player base. It'd just be like general people that are just consuming the content.
Yeah.
Next question from @Obsidian_Steed. He asks, what's an ice cream or dessert you would never try? We're talking like Rocky Road or mint choc chip. Looking at you, broski. What's a dessert I would never try? I don't think there is one. I think I would give every kind of food a go at some point.
You'd give like, just about anything. You'd at least try it.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, desserts a bit different. Like I feel like at least a majority of desserts are like pretty decent. So there's nothing crazy there.
Yeah.
But I don't like mint flavored stuff, so anything related to mint, I wouldn't really give a shot because I know I don't like mint in the first place. Another thing I don't really like is whipped cream. I hate whipped cream. I think it tastes gross, so I wouldn't eat anything related to that. Like too much.
Whipped cream is mad good.
Nah, I am not a fan.
I don't know. Yeah.
You don't fuck with that Ready Whip, bro?
No, I'm good.
Bro, Australia, we don't stock that kind of trash shit, man.
Yeah. Y'all built different, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Next question he asks is, when you want to wind down and relax on your day off, what do you do? Have some wine, play games, maybe read something as like suggestions. I don't know. What do I do on my day off? I don't really have many days off.
On that grind.
That's what I'm saying. I probably just like generally I'll try to like when I have time off, I'll try to like go for a walk or go to the gym or like read in the evenings, I suppose, or like watch. Basically, I just watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah,
like, that's about it really for myself.
I just go into the recommended feed and just see what shows up.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll rewatch videos I've watched like 12 times already.
Yeah,
so like it kind of is what it is there.
Back in the day, I used to my days off. I'd play OPTC Forest.
For fun.
For fun,
this man's a demon.
I usually just catch up on my animes, or I just like chill out and vibe out.
There you go.
Yep, I'm feeling it.
Next question from @RedHaloGaming. He asks, "Yo, my dudes, hope everything's doing well. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm actually starting to feel the game becoming stale content-wise. It's just the same event schedule every month with the same special celebrations mixed in. That being said, I'm really hoping the new game mode Grand Voyage will bring a much needed addition to the game. What do you think will be the content cycle for the new game, the new mode? Now that we have a little more information."
I mean, yeah, I think everyone has that same sentiment right now. It's just everyone's just kind of sick of batch, arena, TM, Kizuna, repeat.
Yeah. I think that at least as from what's being alluded to, it's not necessarily meant to be like within the cycle. I think it's meant to be like Grand Voyage should hopefully be like exterior from the content cycle. But I think that the part that it will be part of the content cycle will be like a refreshing Chopper Man mission list or whatever. Every month or something like that, there'll be like Chopper Man missions that'll refresh, that'll like give you added rewards or added level limit break materials would be my guess.
Yep. Yeah.
Otherwise, I just hope it's content that's there to farm. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Not really much to say about that, but yeah, we've pretty much covered that about how the game just needs something a little bit more refreshing, and
big time.
We're just hoping that we get something out of Grand Voyage. We'll see.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
No, go. Hit it, Flame. Drunk
yeah,
fears,
what's up, Flame? What's on your mind?
Yeah, let us
know. I was
just
gonna say, hopefully, like they said, like non-repetitive content, something refreshing, and
that's cap.
I think they mentioned.
I think it's all cap though. I think it's all cap.
I
reckon it's gonna be repetitive as fuck.
Yeah, alright then. Fuck it, bro. We playing some OG shit then.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it. I'm off to Dokkan. See ya.
I'm going back to Dokkan, man. Fuck this. I don't know.
All right.
I hope it's not Capski, but in a feeling, I feel like it might be like Yoshi might be capping a little bit.
Okay.
Trying to sell me a dream is what he's trying to do, I think. And I'm very gullible at times, so I might have just bought that dream and I'm hoping it comes true, I suppose.
I mean, from what I understand, I think it's going to be pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of like that like super hard content. Like, you know, when Garp 6 first came out, and like there are some people that absolutely love like the hardcore impossible content. And like, I mean, more power to you, but dude, I personally hate it. I don't like it at all. It's just annoying.
Hey, you got Shirahoshi?
Yeah.
You got Shirahoshi? You can't clear it if you're out.
I like hard content. I just don't like when they specifically make it towards, oh, do you have this unit or do you not have it?
That's literally what Garp 6 was.
Yeah, when it first came out.
Was just
God,
like,
yeah, that was ass.
I mean, now it
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would love if they actually brought it back so we could play it.
It would be cool if they imagine if that was when you cleared it, you got 30 gems.
Yeah,
every month, please bring it back. I'll clear it every month.
That's sick. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Joel Leon. They ask, "Hey guys, on the podcast. My question is, what do you think about the longevity of Wano slots? Are they only going to be present while we are in Wano? How many legends can come out that deal with Wano slots? What's the next LBAF? What's next? LBAF slots with a 3x boost. Wano slots will always be incredible, irrespective of how like their longevity, because it's a Wano slots just give you an extra like stat boost. Like your damage output is already high with Wano slots alone.
I think he means maybe like how long characters going to have Wano slots for, maybe, because like maybe like when Wano ends, like are we ever going to see Wano slots ever again? But like I think the way I see it is, I feel like if they're going to release a legend that comes from Wano, they'll probably just like have some kind of Wano mechanic on
100%.
it. And like I feel like if they're going to do another slot based on something else, maybe they'll just like make it the same as a Wano slot but just different design or something.
Yeah,
like
it'll be the exact same thing. Like
I mean, they're very good at copy pasting.
Facts. It's just that, like, I mean, like we still dabble into Dressrosa. We still dabble into, you know, Whole Cake Island, Marineford. So like, even after, if Treasure Cruise is still going after Wano ends, like the anime, like I fail to see them like just saying, oh, no more Wano slots. Like, I'm sure by that point, like, we'll be way further advanced in the game. But like,
yeah,
Wano slots is an incredible buff that I think they're just going to keep chucking on Wano related characters for the foreseeable future.
Facts, bro.
Okay. Next question from Andrea Freshish. They ask, with the new Great Voyage power-up system, do you recommend to keep in the box rare recruits that we will pull until the update drops, or just keep the legends? I would just say the legends. I think the rare recruits is going to be pretty irrelevant, would be my assumption.
Wait, didn't they say that they're like counting from October onwards anyway?
I think so.
I think that's what they said.
It's powered up from October onwards or something like that. So I don't know what it. I don't even know. So just keep legends, like,
yeah, you know, keep the legends.
Like, so it's just do that. Don't keep the rare recruits, because then your box space will actually be filled up in like one Sugofest. It's done. So like, don't bother about keeping no rare recruits.
Yep.
Next question from Omni. Hey fellas, out of all the XP boosting units, so lobster, homies, turkey, etc., which one do you guys think would taste the best? Dibs on the pile of donut units. That's a great question.
What the fuck?
It's a fantastic question.
Oh, I know which one Pappy's gonna say. Oh, hey, no. Yo, what about the bags of rice?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Where's my rice at? Please provide me the rice, lad.
Yes, sir. Or the Valentine's Day chocolates.
True, they'd be kind of smacking. The donuts and the meat piles, that would be pretty cool. The turkey would be lit. Even the lobster, we're moving kind of bougie with the lobster, you know what I'm saying, man?
The shaved ice be nice on a hot day.
What about the turtles?
The turtles? Oh no. Bro, surely there's a society out there.
You're trying to have some fried seahorses and shit.
Oh, come on, dog. Hey, maybe dragon meat go off. Hold on.
Oh shit, pop off.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, what else is in here? Eat pistols and swords.
Yeah, you want to have some pistols and swords, lad?
I'm dead.
Grumptious.
You want to have from some tomes?
Some Hercules beetles?
Yeah, hold on, man. That might be muy delicioso. Honestly, a nice cup of that homie tea that gives you like the special tea homies. The ones that give you like the socket. Tea would be kind of litty. Pirate Rebel flags. You want to eat any of those?
You trying to eat a rainbow gem from the rainbow tree, bro?
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
That's forbidden.
What about the toy bears from the sugar event?
Okay.
Trying to eat some. What about the swans from the Pond Clay swan coat, man?
We're getting exotic out here.
You want some cotton candy, bro?
That's probably the best one. Give me the cotton candy,
bro.
What about those weird Eternal Pose map fragments? You want some of those?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Support medals? There you go. Next question. Gold D Broken. They ask, what do you think of the tandem system implemented at the early years of the game? I personally think it's a missed opportunity and could become a great feature for the gameplay. Any thoughts? I'm going to make it very clear. This is not allowed. And I think Cody also replied to this person's comment, but I wanted to put it in the question section because there was a lawsuit, or there was a legality reasoning behind removing it, was because you cannot physically, I believe it's something to do with like, you can't gate like power-ups or content or something along those lines behind having specific units. So like, the tandem system required you to have specific units, and if you didn't have them, you could not access the ability.
Yeah, it was based on I think it was like if you have like summonable units. So I think they could do it for free to play, but they just can't do it for summonable units.
Yeah.
Which is still kind of weird because like the whole system, like it makes sense. Like they could definitely do it for a bunch of free to play units. Like the new free to play Kaido that just came out. Like why doesn't he have a tandem with like Arena Queen and that free to play Jack? Like that would have been pretty cool.
What they could have just done was like they could have pivoted the tandem system to instead of be like, oh, you needed a Gear 2 Luffy and this Zoro and this Sanji, just say if you have a Luffy, Zoro, and a Sanji, any Luffy, Zoro, Sanji available to you, you can use, and you have the tandem orbs, you can use their tandem ability, which is like damage or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But I don't know if the legality behind it also covers that kind of thing, where it's like, well, what if the player doesn't have a Luffy, for example, or something like that? So I guess that's the reason why they stopped it, was because you can't have content that's gated behind like premium like rewards or whatever. So you have to have a premium unit in order to access that bit of content. Next
kind
question
of,
from
whack.
Yo.
Just kind of whack.
Next question from DC. Based on the high number of negative comments OPTC is receiving by quite some time now, do you think that they'll start changing things like the Sugo structure, give more Kisa potions for free like in the past? Because I think that nowadays most of the Sugofest characters are better designed compared to last year, and it is a shame that a lot of things just got worse. That's a good point, I suppose. That like I feel like Legends are like Legends this year are obviously better than Legends last year, but everything around them has kind of gotten worse, which is pretty interesting when you think about it, I suppose. But I don't know. It's like
it's a number thing. It's a financial thing. Once again,
money
there's money. They
equals
don't need
good.
to change it. Yeah,
That's it.
I'm gonna put it like this, little homie. As long as they making the money, they ain't changing shit.
That's facts. Vote with your wallets, please.
So it's the facts.
The penultimate question. Christy Darling. She asks, what are your guys' favorite superclass legend? V3 Doffy, V2 Croc, V2 Oden, V4 Katakuri, or V2 Dogstorm?
Shit.
Probably V3 Doflamingo for myself.
Interesting. I think a lot of people would.
I like Doflamingo. I think he's great. I think Doflamingo is a very good legend. Very solid legend. Lots of AoE damage. Get through content very quickly. Like you get the cooldown on the super class ability, I believe. Attack and orb boost. Like he's a very strong character.
I think Croc is really good, but
I agree.
I personally don't like running a cerebral team for content that much. I'm not a big fan of the cerebral class. Yeah. I think if I'm going by a class that I like the most, it would probably be Oden, because I love the free spirit class. I like Katakuri because he's my boy. I think Dogstorm's kind of fun. Dogstorm's really fun to use actually, but he's kind of like finicky to build for.
Yep.
I'm probably gonna go with Oden for my pick.
Nice.
I like him.
Yeah. For me, I don't really know what any of the superclass units do, but I'm just gonna go with Oden because I saw Todd made a video like what the fuck is this unit? Some shit, or who the fuck made this unit?
PvP.
Yeah, his PvP is so broken.
So I'll just say Oden.
There you go. And as per usual, what other way to end a GGP without a question from our guy CS Wins, aka Cody, aka Knight's best friend. Hey guys, as always, love the content. I don't have any OPC content questions, except I expect you'll cover everything relevant and truthfully. I'm quite burnt out of the game. I'm wondering, what's your favorite type of game? Is it RPG, FPS, Free Spirit? I said Free Spirit instead of FPS. I said FPS and Free Spirit. FPS, puzzles, sports, etc. All right, what's your favorite kind of game?
Favorite kind of game?
I'm a roguelike kind of guy. Give me a game, goes for like 30, 45 minute run. It's different every time. You can play it for hundreds of hours. That's probably where I'm at.
I like JRPGs.
Yeah, this guy's a weeb. Xenoblade 3
Yes,
nerd.
I am.
In high school, I was such an FPS nerd. I loved FPS so much.
Big time.
But then I really love like RPG for the progression style of things.
Yeah.
Some sports games are kind of fun. Like, I don't know, I like to dabble in a lot of things, but if I had to choose like one type of genre to play, I'd probably have to go with RPG because I feel like you could just like spend hours and hours in the same game.
That's
Just
why
like
I like. That's why I
That's
like
facts.
roguelites, because it's basically like an RPG that you can
Yeah.
just infinitely keep replaying. You know what I'm saying?
puzzle
Next
games are
question.
kind of fun too.
Yeah, like Treasure Cruise, eh? Anyway, next question. If you haven't already spoken about it, I'd love to get your early thoughts on Elden Ring. I'm debating buying Xbox One cheap to be able to play the game. We'll probably have a more in-depth discussion because Knight's dipped out, but in episode 63 about
Oh yeah,
Elden
we'll
Ring.
get into it.
But I mean, I've only played the first like 15, 20 minutes. That's all I've had time to do, and I've enjoyed it, even for that little short period of time. I know Todd's gotten very deep into it so far as well.
Yeah.
Flame, what's your vibe at?
I'm at the end of the game.
Nice.
I'm having a lot of fun. I actually just beat 2 really hard bosses today, so that was very satisfying. There are things that I dislike about the game, but like Poppy said, I'll probably talk more in depth about that in our next episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. So look forward
Yeah,
to that.
dude. It legit might be one of my favorite games ever created, to be honest.
Wow.
It's
High
great.
praise. Next question. And some food questions for you. Same as always,
here we
gonna
go.
pick one. All right. Mushrooms, good or bad?
Love it. My favorite.
Hate them.
I'm in the middle, so I'm just gonna
Okay,
say
we're
I guess I
even.
don't like them.
Even. So he said not my fave. For cereal, milk first or cereal first?
Cereal.
Wait, who does milk?
I was gonna say you have to.
If you
gotta be
do
a
milk first, you're
psychopath.
a weirdo.
You gotta be an absolute psychopath. to be
What
doing
is
that
wrong
kind of
with
stuff.
you,
Fucking
man?
creep.
I can't trust you. I can't trust you. Next question. Mint flavored sweet. Todd's like, no, straight away.
I hate mint. No.
I'm
Wait.
down. I'm down for mint flavored
Wait,
sweets.
mint flavor is sweet. What is it? Just like yes or no?
Yeah or no?
I mean, it depends. I mean, I'm not against mint, so I'll just say yes.
I guess it depends on like what the sweet's trying to do. If it's trying to be like a chocolate mint kind of thing, then it's like kind of cringe. But if it's meant to be like a breath refreshment kind of thing, then like yeah, right, that's fine.
Actually, it is kind of weird because I actually do like gum, like chewing gum, like mint flavored gum, but I don't like mint flavored things.
Yeah,
but gum's fine.
I guess I'll say yes because I do like peppermint patties.
Oh,
hold on.
Yeah. Black licorice, good or bad? Yuck, disgusting.
Oh, fuck no.
Put in the bin.
Black licorice is disgusting.
Get yourself some strawberry or raspberry licorice. That shit kind of bangs. Black licorice is.
That's a milk first type shit.
Yeah, that's the kind. That's the Night. I reckon Night likes black licorice. To be honest with you.
Yeah, probably.
He seems like the kind of guy that does. Final thing: soda, pop, or water.
I'll say water because I haven't drank soda in almost 10 years.
Damn.
Good man. I'm a water kind of guy as well, I'd say.
Yeah, I drink water like 99% of the time, and I'll like occasionally have a soda. Yeah.
There you go.
Good stuff. Good questions.
And the final party, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on the best type of candy. I assume some differences between America and Australia. Okay,
all right. My favorite type of candy, I have 2, but one is like super uncommon. But the main one that a lot of people know is M&Ms. I love M&Ms, and my favorite one is crispy M&Ms.
Ooh,
they are my absolute favorite. I love them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I used to like. I love M&Ms as well. I used to be a peanut M&M guy, but then I realized that they released like a pack that's like a mix of all of them. So the crispy, the mini ones, and then like the peanut ones. I was like, so I just buy that, get the best of all worlds essentially in the M&M packets. I don't know what other candy do I like. What do you like, Flame?
For me, M&M wise, I specifically like mini M&Ms. They just hit
M&Ms,
different.
Yeah, they do. They actually do.
As far as different candy, I like Crunch Bars. Those are pretty good.
Okay.
But I like Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, I can get down with some.
Yeah, Reese's are good.
Yeah,
I like Snickers as well.
I love Snickers, but Snickers
Yeah.
for us is different than Snickers for them. I think Snickers for you guys is like a Mars bar for us. I
Oh
think
wait,
that's
no,
how it
wait,
works.
their Snickers doesn't have nuts in it.
I don't think so. Does your Snickers
We
have
we have
nuts?
I don't eat Snickers, but we have Snickers.
Yeah,
So I swear,
I thought
isn't like a Mars bar like weird kind of flip thing?
Yeah,
where, like, the
'cause, like-
Mars bar for us is different to yours or whatever.
yeah, Mars. You guys have Mars.
I don't eat either, to be honest, so I can't comment.
Oh, okay.
Damn,
Because
good
Mars
old
bar
Snickers.
is basically just a Snickers without the nuts in it.
Yeah.
Is essentially what it is. I love Mars too. They're probably one of my favorites.
I-
I don't think our Snickers has nuts in it. So
That's what I
Oh,
thought.
okay.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
um,
Well, maybe leave that in the comment section.
I like Twix. I think Twix is an underrated
Ooh.
chocolate bar or a Boost bar. Boost bars kind of go kind of crazy for some reason.
Mm.
and they Twix is aight.
I mean, like, I haven't had it. It's one of those things where it's like you don't eat it for like 4 or 5 years, and then you eat one, you're like, yeah, it's pretty cracking, and then you just move on.
Actually, you know what one is actually goated? The Caramello Koala.
Yeah, they don't get that shit, Todd. They will never.
Dude,
they will
I got
never.
I got some for Carissa, and she's like, "Holy shit! Why
They
do we
will
not have this?
never-
It's like the best thing ever."
Do you remember saying
That
chocolates
sounds
at
like some
school?
crazy shit.
Do you remember saying chocolate at school? You get the it's like the big Freddo frogs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. The big caramel koala. They banged, bro.
It's just literally like a koala shaped chocolate, and it's Cadbury chocolate, and it has like a really smooth caramel on the inside. It's so good.
Bro,
Yeah.
that shit is so good.
Yeah, y'all fuck with Kit Kats.
Yeah, they're
yeah, I can
good.
get down with the Kit Kat.
I like the crunchy Kit Kats, like the thick ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're my favorites. I love the thick
Like
ones.
it's not like a lot of these snacks. I don't like go to the store and like seek out and like buy.
Yeah,
It's
not
like,
on like a daily basis.
if
or
I'm going,
anything.
it's like if I'm going to the movies, I'll maybe get some M&Ms, maybe some like pretzels or something like that. Something sweet, something salty.
Pretzels kind of lit. Yeah, I like.
I
Pretzels.
like pretzels, man. I like. What other kind of
I like-
snackies do I like that?
I like pretzel bites.
What's a
What's
pretzel
that?
bite?
Yeah, what's that?
A pretzel bite is basically just a cut up pretzel.
Bro.
Like, what's the shape of it? What's the
Is it
shape
like a
of it?
square or something like that, like a ball?
They're kind of like it's like a little ball of a pretzel, but it's just like a bunch of them. It's basically just a pretzel cut up, but like a little ball, I guess.
Bruh.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's good as fuck.
So what's the difference between that and a normal pretzel? Wouldn't it taste the same?
I mean it does, but it depends like where you get it. Like we have this place called Auntie An's, and their pretzel bites just fucking bang, bro. Them shit is good as fuck.
There you go.
Yeah, now you know.
Lots of snacky choices there. You know, you can't go past, you know, your good old Tim Tams.
Oh
It's a
yeah, they're good.
banging snacky.
One of my
banging
favorites
biscuit.
are they're called Berry Bliss. They're
Oh, they're like the
they're-
little like they have like the jelly or like the syrup. thing
yeah,
on the in-
they're all like different colored berries
oh!
with like the jelly on the inside. Oh, dude, they are
Them
my.
shits
I love
go-
them, dude.
Them shit's
So
kind of
good.
crazy, dude.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I fuck with Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, I don't mind
Yeah,
them.
you're right.
Like,
Not
I think, yeah, I don't mind them at all. I think I do enjoy them. Like I think I
I like,
sour. I like sour stuff for sure.
Yeah, like sour. Do you remember sour strips or sour straps?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. I like Mike and Ike as well. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Jolly Ranchers.
Okay.
I'm like 50-50. Jolly Ranchers either gonna crack your teeth or gonna taste delicious. It's a very
Well, they
mixed
haven't
bag.
cracked my teeth, so they taste delicious.
There you go. All right. Let's wrap it up, gentlemen. I think we're done.
Cool
So you've
thing.
heard us. That was Treasure Cruise. You've heard our complaints. Thank you guys all for your questions. But you know, as per usual, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you go down there, hit the subscribe button. Helps out a great deal. Hit the like button as well. And if you've gotten to this point, comment down below that you made it to the end of the episode. Let us know what your thoughts are on the global anniversary and all that Treasure Cruise fun stuff as per usual. And while you're down there, maybe considering joining and becoming a member of the channel and supporting us and supporting the podcast overall. Whilst you're down there, head to the description and you can find that link that is linktr.ee/goodgreatperfect. You can find us on a bunch of social media platforms, that being Twitter at GGP Podcast. You can find us on Anchor, anchor.fm/goodgreatperfect, where you can find us also on a bunch of podcasting platforms being Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts as well. You know, skip past that link down there. You can find all the hosts' social medias. Flamevius, Toadski, Nightmare JP, and myself, Captain Poppy. Make sure you go follow everyone, go subscribe, do all that kind of fun stuff. You know, we all greatly appreciate it. YouTube channel road to 2,500 subs. Let's make it happen this year for sure. We're trying to slowly and steadily grow. We hope you guys enjoyed today's OPTC episode. We will be back on episode 63 with a non-OPTC ep, where we will probably be going into our thoughts on Elden Ring, the Gen 9 starters, and maybe some other things that pop up in the sphere of the world. With that being said, I've been Captain Puppy, Flame, Todd, and Knight as well. Thank you guys for listening to another episode. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.